Hey everybody, welcome back with the plan. My cat, quit choking yourself! Quit it! My cat likes doing this thing where he lays down on the edge of a thing and he goes, and he puts his neck on it, and he goes, what's wrong? And then if you grab him, he's just like, oh, what? Why are you freaking out on me, bro? Because you're trying to fucking kill yourself, you stupid cat. Okay, first of all, just because I do silly things doesn't make me stupid. And I'm like, that's fair. Can I edit the game I'm playing on this? I'll remember. Game title, Octopath. Let's type in the full word Octopath. Champions of the Continent, released in 2020. Yep, absolutely. That's the one I'm playing. We're going to start with the most important daily. We're going to tell this guy we want nothing because he has nothing to give me. Must not have been 20 hours. All right, pop out, chat. Hi, YouTube. Popping out Twitch. Oh, man, my Twitch is popping out right now. Ooh. Boom, 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 boom. Hey, Murin! McCurlin is playing right now. Octopath COTC. Let's go into my creator dashboard. And now we've got, let's mute it. Chat up. Let's go. Pop out. All right, let's start prepping for content. We're doing everything today. Everything. 'Cause I think the new content's tomorrow. God help me if it's not, but I think it's tomorrow. I should have checked to see if there was an in-game notice first. There is not. So maybe it's not tomorrow. Look, letter from Kate Scholar. Thank you, Kate Scholar. Day 35. Ignore my letters. Wow. 5 small, tasty experience nuts. Don't spend those all in one spot. All right, we're going to do the daily poll. I like getting the daily poll out of the way. I know I'm not getting anything, so let's just get it out of the way. I'm watching you, kitty cat. He knows. Oh, this is not a mouse game. All right, 5 in a row. This one's the one that's a guaranteed 5-star, right? After 5. These are like step-up banners, right? What the fuck? There you go. Never forget, past results don't dictate future outcomes, okay? It's still 4% today. It was still 4% when I pulled the 5-star. It's going to be 4% tomorrow, okay? Don't let it get you down. I'm going to go ahead and stop by Nameless Town. I like starting there with my dailies, I think. Especially when my cat's freaking out. I mean, that's just kind of, I think that's kind of like constant state of cats, right? Yeah. Contend. I don't want to be bound by any obligations, but I will kill you if I have to. Get sucked, chump. That's what you call it when you beat someone really badly. You call them getting sucked. Mike Zuckerberg? Is his first name Mike? Hey, we completed a path action. We are pros. I wonder if we're gonna pull tomorrow. I'm definitely getting an itchy pull finger, which sounds really dirty, but it's not. But I got these gems, and I want to meet some waifus. You know what I'm saying? Waifus only want one thing, and it's disgusting. It's gems. Husbandos only want one thing, and it's disgusting. It's gems! Everyone wants gems in this world. No one wants a heartfelt letter expressing my eternal love and gratitude. You shut up, kitty. I tell them to shut up a lot, but I know they don't understand me and I don't actually mean it. Because they're cute, handsome little men. And they're little explorers. They gotta do their little exploring. I can't expect them to not be in their nature. One of my favorite things every day is going to the sheep farm because it's a weird angle, how you get in there and stuff. Is that it's kind of hard to tell what the best route is. Like, I would not have expected them to do the route they just did to get here. Thank you for the fleece of remembrance. Entreat. All right, let's do the elites, then we'll do the other elites. Ugh. If anyone has typed in chat, I haven't yet gotten it. It could, I assume no one's typed in chat. I'm not exactly popping off right now. But I just want you to know, if you hypothetically have and I haven't responded, it's because I haven't seen it. But that's not to say, because I have had the wrong chat open a long time. In fact, I think I had one day where I had the wrong chat open for like 20 minutes. Hey, Zebok. Welcome. How when Juan? Is it how when Juan? I can't help but say things like the stupidest, whitest guy ever. Like, I work with this girl, her name is Harpreet, but when she says Harpreet, she doesn't say Harpreet. That's a very like European way of saying the name. You know, she says it much more naturally. Currently typing in chat. Yeah, right. Prove it, Steven, if that is your real name. Hey, we beat that elite, man. You know, I gotta say, these elites aren't what they used to be. Back in my day, elites would be able to kill your team. Now they're just here dropping free loot. Sturdy Warwolf. What is the war full of? Babies? Got him. Ha! Got him! When's the last time you guys thought of that? You want some of these? These nuts? Ha! Got him! That was a great video. I think my friend got a picture with him. I think he wanted like 20 bucks. Like, whatever. If that's your thing, that's your thing. You might as well make the money where you can make the money. Everyone's got to make their cheddar. I wish they made each of these guys 1 million experience. Man, I would never miss them then. Oh, look at the quest thing didn't light up, but I know I have a quest. I know I have a hunt, unless it didn't reset. It did. All right, Scarecrow, is today the day you're level 5? Is today the day you're level 5? Woots or... How many things do we get? We get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Okay, so you get 13 items, probably on average, to sell. So if you do this, that already completes the daily task of having to sell 10 items. Fuck! We'll get there. We'll get there. Hello, just stopping by to say hi and have a great day. Cent. Hey, mobile gaming. I've been watching your stuff. Let me just confirm. Really quick before you go. I know you're busy. Content creators got to live their content creator lives. But let me make sure you're who I think you are. Let me just make sure you are who I think you are. You are making COTC videos. I appreciate that, first of all. Second of all, if you're still there, how do you feel about doing a podcast together at some point? I'm looking to do, man, your videos are popping off too. I'm looking to do a podcast with someone. I was looking with someone else in Twitch, and I'm still interested in doing it with them. Maybe I have different people, but he's just busy with university and streaming. He didn't really seem like he has much time. But Cent, if you ever want to do like a podcast thing and you're still around, hit me up. Otherwise, I'll hit you up on Discord and ask if you're already gone. I don't know if you have a Discord. Hey, Hutch, what's up? Let's go to 2 cents videos. I'm still here and I'm down for a podcast sometime. Awesome. Let's I don't want to say hook up. Let's message me on Discord. YouTube. Message me on Discord if you want. You do have one. I'll join, that way you could find me nice and easy. And then we'll talk about it. Yeah, join the philosophers. Is your name Phil? Awesome. Yeah, we'll talk a little bit. We'll kind of understand what each other's... I kind of want to know like what your experience with the game is in terms of how much knowledge you have and things like that. And then we can come up with like some topics that we want to talk about. Right after the Tilken Cup's probably a great time also. So you need to join my Discord plat. It should be in the bottom of everything. Just have a degree in philosophy. Oh, then this is going to be an issue because I'm just going to want to talk to you all the time. So like here was what my thoughts were. And you're gonna be like, yeah, I can see how you can see it that way, but that is a bunch of logical fallacies that are based on other logical fallacies. That is based on a presupposition of a knowledge that you didn't really have. I'm like, ah, shit. I am an idiot. I knew it. I've been grinding those hunts, trying to get Theo or Gilderoy to 5-star ascension, but I've only received 3 sacred seals for the thief. I mean, that's pretty good. Are you farming the right ones? I assume you are. When is the new update? Struggling at 57, Master of All Chapter 6. I'm a fallacy. Yeah. I think the new update's tonight. I think tomorrow morning we have the Tilken Cup. Am I wrong? Your wait, I can read this. Your epistemic position is shallow in the area which you are projecting towards. You're exactly right. That's that's what I was telling my girlfriend last night. And she was like, why don't we have sex anymore? And I'm like, you just don't understand. No, this is all just a joke. Why is there no update? Yeah, we might not get the update tomorrow. It might be in 2 days. It might be on the 1st. But am I wrong? Isn't tonight when the banners expire? I'm gonna have to take an extra day off work. I have tomorrow off, so I'm really hoping that it's tomorrow. But if it's not tomorrow and it's the next day, I can still do a morning stream, but I can't do a big morning stream because I gotta work at 1:30. So I could do like 3 hours or something. But then the day after I actually do have off again. I have 3 days off this week because I'm working part-time specifically to make content. So we'll see. Do you think I should ever fight all these guys again? Probably not right now. I might at one point go through and fight each one of them. I don't like this boss. I mean, he's just too vanilla. Worst case scenario though for me is if the update isn't tomorrow, it is the new expansion for Legends of Runeterra. And I'll be playing that a little bit. Probably won't be streaming it, let's be honest. You guys wouldn't watch, but it would still be, I'm excited to play it. Plus, how could I stream it if I'm going to be watching other people stream? Do you have any guide for which stat/skill I should spend with my JP? Mint, I'm going to be honest with you, I don't fully understand the question. I'll drop you a DM later when you're off stream. I'm taking my kiddo out to the park. Awesome. Yeah, you could drop me a message whenever you want, and then I'll just respond to it when I'm off stream. I plan on doing a long stream today, but I don't know. We could figure out if we have, maybe we could do a pre-Tilken Cup podcast and then a post-Tilken Cup podcast. Not, like maybe a week or two apart. I don't know. We'll figure out. Job points. Okay, here we go. If you don't mind sharing, what type of work do you do outside of streaming? Steven, I'm actually... I'm a fairly intellectual person. I oversee lots of financial transactions at a high volume in a high volume, high paced environment. Which basically is a fancy way of saying I work at a gas station. but I help fuel the economy, one could say, if you wanted a flowery language. I work I'm a cashier at a gas station. Do you have any guide for which stats or skills I should spend with your job points? I mean, you'll be able to get everything eventually, so it's kind of tough to say, but like typically what I would recommend is going to Cragsphere, and then after that loading screen is done, we'll take a look. Once you're at level 100, you'll get everything on a 5-star, but getting to level 100 is not going to happen soon. It's quite the thing, but for the general rule of thumb that I follow when I go to learn skills is that like I beeline up to here. I beeline to level 5, then I go back and because now I'm a high enough level, I don't use level 30 characters, right? I don't use a character unless they're like level 60 or 70. So I'll beeline up here, and then I'll go back and I'll pick up the specific skills that I want, make sure that I get those. And then I'm going to go for things like this BP in the middle, and then stat ups that are good. Like just the really good stat ups, basically. Even like also the good skills, but like enhanced healing all is like such a fucking like, when do we need this? This is like the most useless skill in the game, not because it's bad, but because its normal healing is already so fucking powerful. Thank you for the follow. How you doing? It's on Twitch. I'm so excited, man. I'm telling you, like YouTube is great. Oh, sorry. I don't want to show you guys my secret chat that I have up. I can't watch. Here's the thing. I can't watch 2 Cents mobile gaming videos because I don't want to use his knowledge and pretend it's my knowledge by mistake. It's really hard to break through on Twitch, man. It's so hard to get fucking viewers on Twitch. YouTube seems easier, but I also have 4,500 subscribers, so maybe it's a little bit easier there. What's the new concept and when is it coming? I believe it's the Tilken Cup coming tomorrow. I could be wrong. Let's take a look. Wait, what am I talking about? I can't be wrong on the plat. I'm objectively always right. What I say becomes the truth. We see this banner ends at 7 UTC. When is 7 UTC? In my time zone. Seven UTC. My time. Am I in to PST? I think I'm in PST right now. Is it? It depends. Midnight, I think, right? 6:59, just to confirm. No, 6:59, but yeah, okay. Okay, so at midnight tomorrow? I'll be shocked if it comes tomorrow. Yeah, I thought it would be tomorrow because I thought that's when this ends. But maybe it comes on the 1st of the month. Speaking of coming on the 1st of the month, that's just a funny sentence. Yeah, so I mean, obviously this says Monday. You can ignore Monday because it's projecting that it's today, but today's Tuesday. So tonight at 11:59. Yeah. Okay. It's probably not tomorrow then. How you doing? Anyone else have issues with the find hasn't reloaded for the next day? Happened already a few times. It's kind of annoying seeing missing out on Kates. That happens to a lot of people a lot of times. We always get updates Tuesday nights. That's what I was thinking. It's like, that's why I was excited to have Wednesday off, because Wednesday morning has always been the day where we get the stuff. But maybe they don't like maybe they want to extend it a day. Maybe they thought there was only 30 days in the month. I don't know. What's the difference between Fenrir and innocent weapons? Just the way they scale. Fenrir scales physical attack. Innocent weapon scales elemental attack. But they're pretty darn similar. And I think the armor of Fenrir or whatever is just purely better. So it happens a lot. The way to avoid it is to never do your Kates. No, I'm kidding. The way to avoid it is to like force close the game. You know, just like boop, and then, you know, close out of the game basically. But don't actually do this, but Close out, close out. You know what I mean. Force close the game when you're done for the night. If you force close the game when you're done for the night, it shouldn't have a problem. The issue is like sometimes when you're still logged on, I don't know. It shouldn't be an issue, but the point is it is an issue. Things aren't always what they should be, you know. Might drink some water today. Whew, getting crazy, Platt. Getting crazy. All right, what do we need to do? We need to sell the materials, defeat the enemies, use the exchange. This is not my team. Don't look at this team and judge me. This is my team. Okay, let's go ahead and do the I haven't done the innocent weapon farm in several days. Let's do it today. You don't expect the Tilken Cup for another week or two? There's no way. It's definitely coming like tomorrow or the day after. Absolutely. And then the following update a few weeks later is going to be the next update. I mean, we could just look at the roadmap. Everything in the roadmap is subject to change. Octopath COTC road map. Thank God it's not porn. If you take a look, I mean, I guess there's a little space here, so they could be like that. But to me, it seems like it's going to come right at the beginning of September. Now, it is possible that it does come a week later. If it comes a week later, I can't imagine what they're expecting people to do for another week. But then halfway through the month here, because I feel like if we wait 2 more weeks, this is right halfway through the month, right? So if this comes out on day 1, halfway through the month, we get Bestower of Power Chapter 1. This arrow is like the fact that this is here and it's long is just meant to fill up space. Like this isn't added content being added consistently. It was one thing right here. It's a little chunk. Boom, boom. Like I don't know how much weight to give to these spaces here, right? Big space, little medium space, little space. And like these are here just to add, like they wanted this to look very full. Obviously a lot of this is just empty. Getting Tiki on the 7th, I'll be surprised. I'm not saying it's impossible and I'm not saying anyone's wrong, but I'll be surprised. Are we 100%? No, there's nothing's 100% ever. We're definitely getting a new banner tomorrow because we get a banner every week. But I feel like with Bestower of Power coming right at halfway through the month at version 1.2, I would be surprised if we don't get version 1.1 in the day or two. I could be wrong. Obviously, I'm not, like I said, nothing's guaranteed, but I'll be surprised. Yeah, Steven, that's kind of what happens. Yeah, I don't trust data miners inherently. What are they mining, huh? Where do they get all those tools? No, I'm joking, but I don't really put too much weight on that as well though. You know what? You do the slippy slap. You do the crumbling cut. You do spell song. Everyone just boost. You said in your stream, you said it may be Alphen. I said it may be, if they're going to do one of the original 8, that it will be Hannet, Alphen, or I don't remember. Alright, is this guy fucking dead yet? Any suggestions for people not spending real money to buy rubies? I mean, save your rubies. Daily 30 paid? That I don't think that's a thing. There's a daily 10 paid. But that's the opposite because it is paid gems. Hey, Platty, why don't you do the Kate fights during exploration? It's 3 full heals without going back to the inn. I don't know what Kate fights you're talking about. There's 3 normal Kate fights outside of every town. It's not worth the Hannah, Alphen, and a 3rd one. They're not worth the time. The ad ones? Oh, because they don't level me up. Unless it heals me to full, but even then, I have to reset the ad if it's a bad Kate, and I'm not going to sit here on stream and reset and rewatch ads for other games, you know? Let's take a look at the Travelers. Let's take a look at the Cleric. So probably it's, my guess is it's going to be Ophelia, Hannah, or Alphen. That might not be tomorrow, though, but that's going to be the next of the original 8. They so far haven't released the second job that we've already, you know, we have the original 8, one of every job, and then every banner they've released since then has been a double of one of those jobs, but we haven't had 3. We don't have like 3 5-star warriors or anything in the game. You can answer Google surveys and use it to pay for the gems. That's true. Square Enix Gardener number 2. I overheard them talking no Tiki until September 7th. I believe it. It's possible. I just want to say, to reiterate, even though I have been previously confident that content's coming tomorrow or the day after, I in no way have insider information, and I could easily be wrong. I am full of bad assumptions. How do you grind? How did you grind EXP? I don't know. I want to say did. Everyone always is grinding EXP. So how do we grind EXP? Is by farming daily Kates. That's pretty much it. It's farming daily Kates. Going through to a zone you've already been to before. Doing that 100 times. This guy's not weak to fire. Oh, he's weak to darkness, but I don't have Primrose's stupid thing equipped. You know what? Fuck this guy. Are you poisoned or anything? No, you're just gonna Crimson Blast. I have like the worst team set up for this guy possible. Once Alphen's awake though, oh boy. I have things, literally 2 things that are weak. That he's weak to the 2. I should have just like switched front and back row. This guy is like definitely my least favorite fight in the entire game so far. Like, what an asshole. You might as well do your shadow cut. I mean, you can't even switch. Just did this one. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of this fight. Like, I hate this fight. I mean, you know, it's mostly like, it's not a terrible fight, but I do have to do it every fucking day. I'm not going to change my team for an easy fight every day. I'm not going to have a specialized team for this easy fight every day. Just quit putting my guys to sleep, you this asshole. Everyone just keep doing what you've been doing, but do it with boosts. Yeah, lack of dark can make this fight. Chubby Kates and the Chubby Koi Kates. You have a 5% chance of getting them from the ads, but I farm anything that's a Chubby Kate or up. God, wake the fuck up. It's like 30 turns. What are you talking about? Oh, never mind. He can't switch. All right. Crisis averted. I was the idiot the whole time. You have a debuff on this right now? Sure, do that. Should use more juice because we're wasting a lot of juice right now. Everyone boost. Don't let this guy take us for granted. There we go. We can finally start doing damage. Yeah, base chubbies are by far the most common. You only have a 5% chance of finding koi chubbies after you have a character at level 71. Am I farming BT weapons? I might today. I'm not, because I don't... The fights are too time consuming. I haven't had time to play outside of the streams. But I have been playing on the streams. But when I'm probably not going to today either. I'm just gonna do like a long stream, but I'm probably still not gonna do that because we're gonna be doing all the traveler stories that I have remaining. I'm looking forward to the supposed Scarecrow Theo step-up banner. Really want Theo. He's definitely good, no doubt. I still don't recommend people pull on step-up banners, but to each their own, you know? Everyone's got to live their life. Will this guy die? Thank you. 8,000 experience, baby. Let's go. I mean, the real drop is he drops like a 500,000 gold, you know? That's what we're really what we really care about. The first 150 pull is worth it. I don't necessarily agree with that either. I think it could be, but I'm not sure. And it's a 50% discount on a pull. So here's my thing. It may be for free-to-play players, it's worth it. But like, you get a daily, so it's a 50% off on a multi. You already get a 66% off daily pull. So it's like you're still spending, like you already have a better deal available to you every single day of the week. And it's also from the general pool. And it also has a guaranteed 5-star. In I mean, I'll admit it's a guaranteed 5-star in 300 gems, right? Because it's 10 a day for 30 days. 10 times 10 is 100 times 3 is 300. So it's 300 gems for a guaranteed 5-star. Most people are free to play. I disagree. I don't think most people are free to play. I would say most people are low spenders though. To say most players never spend a dime, I would be surprised. I'm not saying most people spend as much as I do, or most people spend a lot, but like, I think most people drop $5 to $10. This is the Gilderoy fight. Gilderoy, you have a chance to be good at something. Don't blow it. Which is the most efficient gem pack to buy? I'm a low spender overall. 150 for 10 pulls is always worth it. I don't necessarily agree. Because again, this is if you only have free to play gems. If you have any paid gems, Ruby, the daily 10 pull is better to spend rubies on. It's paid only. It's $1 a day, but for 300 gems, you get 3 multis instead of 1 multi. So you get you're getting more pulls because you're getting a better discount. You're getting a guaranteed 5-star for 300 gems. It's a way better deal than the step-up banner. And it's the exact same pool as the step-up banner. With obviously not the boost. I'm not sure. I think that, again, I still... we could talk about it all day. I don't necessarily think that the 150 is worth it. It's more worth it than doing a 300 for sure. But even if you don't have 4 stars, I think it's better to just keep saving to get guaranteed. It's different. It's 100% different if this is a step-up banner and it has like limited units or new banner units. But if it's stuff that's only in the general pool, it's like kind of who cares? It's shit you're gonna get anyway. Like when you finally save up 6,000 gems and you go for a guaranteed unit and you hit pity, like you're gonna get multiple 5-stars of units that you would have gotten while doing that banner anyway. Yeah, 10 gems is limited to 1 per day, but that's every day. That's every month you get 3 multis and a guaranteed 5-star. It's $30 if you do it every month though. But $30 a month is expensive, but if you do it $15 a month, you still get 1.5 multis a month. Good, I'm happy she's dead. You also have a chance to get multiple 5-stars in your individual pulls, not per individual pull. The rates are no different. You're not more likely I feel like there is a perception where people think because they're doing individual polls, they're somehow getting worse luck. The rates are exactly the same. They don't change if they had one poll that did 100 polls at once instead of, you know, versus one, the rates don't change, you know? It's all the same. You just need to use pay to win gems for the 600 monthly allowance. You don't need to use pay to win gems. You do for the daily 10 poll. Update is not today, friend. The 10 poll is, the individual 10 gems is specifically pay to win gems. Well, not pay to win gems, they're paid gems. But like this is specifically 10 has to be paid gems. But this has the exact same rates as step up banners, and it's still a lower price. It's still cheaper. So it's a worse deal than the step up banner. What's up? What's this about new content? We should be getting new content. I thought we were getting it tomorrow. Some people are saying that we're not getting it tomorrow. We're getting it another week, so we'll find out. Hopefully not. This game's going to be fucking dull for a week if we don't get the Token Cup in the next day or two. The step-up rates are exactly the same. They're not better. Unless there was some notice that I didn't get. For specific characters, they're better. Like, they have a boost to characters, but the overall rate is still 4%. Unless I'm just straight up wrong and that it wasn't in the advertisements that I read. Because you think they would really advertise, like, boosted chance for 5 stars. Not boosted chance for a specific 5 stars. It'd be like, hey, not only is the general rate up, but also you get a boosted chance for these. The first step up of any banner is worth it because you get enough free-to-play gems per month. Yeah, it could be worth it, but I still wouldn't. I think that's not worth it. I would still save up for pity. I think step-up banners are traps. I think they're ways to drain. Step-up banners for general pool units, I think, are traps for players. That's just my stance. I think you'll be better off skipping every single one going forward, and that until they add one with like insanely good units that aren't in the general pool. Like if you use those gems there, if you use 1200 gems on a step up banner for Theo and I don't know, Lynette, whatever it is, you're gonna have 1200 less gems for when the near collab comes out. The step up banners have pity, but you're going for general pool units. Why would it not be worth it? Because the discount is worse than what's already available in other polls in the game. If you're 100% free to play, you don't want to spend your gems on general pool units that you'll pull when you pull for the limited units. Like if you're gonna pull for whatever 2A, right? If you're gonna pull for 2A when they come out, you'll have like, even if it's a 50% discount on a general pool and you do 4 step up banners over the course of the first few months of the game and you just do the first pull, you're still gonna have 600 less gems when that unit gets released. Would you rather have spend 600 gems on getting general units that you're gonna pull over time anyway and you're gonna pull way too many copies of, or do you want to have 600 extra gems to try to pull 2A, and then when you get a different unit, like you want to be saving up to hit pity on these really good units? Especially because from what I hear is the limited banner, like 2A and it's not 9S. I don't know, whatever the other girl one is. I hear it's only 100 pulls for the pity, so you only need 3,000 gems. So every gem actually it makes twice as much difference in that banner for hitting pity. The time and place for step up banners being worth it are gonna be, I think they're traps right now. I think logically you're correct regarding step ups. They're general units that you'll pull anyways eventually, but on 4.2k gems itching to pull, so F it. That's Nadir, that's exactly what it's for. Like, just because I think something is not a good idea doesn't mean that I think people shouldn't do it. Does that make sense? I think people should play the game in a way that ensures they have the most fun. But when someone spends all their gems and they don't have gems for cool brand new banners because they spent all their gems on general pool units, I'm just like, why? The 3K pity is paid? Sure. Regardless, I obviously don't have all the information regarding that specific stuff. I'll believe you if you say that, but the main point still stands that you don't want to spend gems on general pool units. And it's true, eventually all units become general pool. But still, you'd either rather, not all units, but you'd still rather spend on things that either aren't going to be general pool or things that are really pushed and you won't be able to get for like months and months and months. And then they go into a general pool, which will make them harder to individually get. But like when a Gust comes out, whenever, and if he has if he has a banner, even if he hypothetically went into the general pool, it's one of those things that you would still prefer to, you'd prefer to have extra gems for it. Like, I'm just saying, like, think about what you're spending gems on. You're spending gems on units that in 6 months from now may all be bad. And I'm not saying they all will be bad, but they'll still be reasonable. But the units that are released at the first day of the game are about as bad as 5 stars are ever going to get. This is where I need the philosopher in here, because I'm talking about the philosophy. And you shouldn't be, in my opinion, you shouldn't be spending gems on things with a very short shelf life. It's like, yeah, I can get 100 pulls for $1, but what if it was 103 stars? That might actually be worth it. But I mean, you know, that's an extreme example regardless, but it's like at a point, it doesn't matter if you're pulling, if you're getting a lot of pulls, if what you're pulling is shit, you know? No one boost. Yeah, I'm pretty sure all the OG Octopath characters will go into the general pool. So the general pool will get better over time. So if you think about it in another sense, the general pool right now is worse than it's ever going to be again. Every time something new gets added, it's likely to make the general pool permanently better. And so pulling on stuff now, it just makes it worse than it will be in the future. You're paying 2 times more rubies to get a higher chance of a unit that you might or may not get when you can wait for their step up. Yeah, I don't know how the individual characters will get, but yeah, also when you wait for a character step up, like let's say Cyrus comes out, when is his step up coming out? How much later is his step up coming out? Then you have to complete all this content without him. And his shelf life is gonna, if it's 4 months later, his shelf life will be 4 months shorter, which is why you pay a premium up front. The enemies you're fighting now, do they drop the second material needed for Fafnir weapons? 4? You only have 3 of those? I don't know. I think there's usually 1 elite for like the super hard stuff. What's the shelf life of Hasumi? I don't know. Again, I'm not talking specific numbers here. I'm talking about the general philosophy or whatever. The majority of the OP units are good, yeah, or are limited. The majority of OP units are the limited ones, to be honest, with a few exceptions. Cyrus, Ophelia. Had not thought about it like that. You make a good point. I think I may hold on to those gems. I'm not telling people, again, everyone, I think it should be free to make the decisions they want and enjoy the game however they want. That's number one. But if someone's going to ask my opinion about how they're spending stuff, it's like if someone just wants to live their life getting drunk every day, like I don't care. You could live your life how you want. But if you ask me my opinion on it, I'm not going to say that I think it's a good idea. And I'm not saying what you're doing, anyone's doing is equivalent to that. I'm just saying, you know, that's as another example. Your goal is to only pull for the 8 OG and the limited. That's kind of what my goal is. So I'm in a different position. I tend to pull on things that I wouldn't recommend other people pull on because I spend more money in the game than most people do. There are no step up for newly added characters. I'm sure there will be, but not at, you know, but when? Like, when will their step up come, you know? All right, is this guy still fucking alive, bro? Gilderoy, do something, please. No. Let's take care of this really quick. No, there's no, and there's no real such thing as a, I mean, there is a meta in the sense that there's always things that are better than other things, but all that matters is your ability to complete the content. You're not competing against other players, so it doesn't matter if you complete the content quickly or whatever. So I don't care what people pull on. But as a content creator, I have, you know, I have to give two things. I have to tell people to play how they want, but also I have to tell people what I think a wise decision is for them to spend their resources. And that's gonna preface it when I did a poll on a step up banner. I was like, I don't recommend people do this, but I'm doing it because I'm making a YouTube video for it and I make some of the money back. Yeah. I don't make as much as I spent. When's the update? I was really hoping in 2 days, and now I'm skeptical. People that know more than me are saying it's not. Which gem pack are you buying regularly for the daily polls? The novice pack or whatever? 50 bucks, 500 gems. Let's take a look. I haven't gone to the shop in a while. I mean, if you want to be super, super conservative, you could wait for the Cyrus step up. That would be the smartest thing to do, probably. But you're still not guaranteed to get them there. You're still not guaranteed to get them there. You're guaranteed, like, if you do all those pulls on him and you want to guarantee it, the best way to do it is to get 6,000 gems and pull on his banner where he's the guaranteed unit. But then if you do, yeah, because if you do the step up, they'll also release a secondary side banner probably where he's also there, and then you could hit pity on that. Yeah, my case is different because I pull more and I spend more. Also, when I keep in mind, when I spend money, it is a tax write-off because this is a business expense. Now, that doesn't mean that I spend less money. It just means I pay slightly less taxes on the money. I have bought all the free multis. You know, the $50, you get $50 in gems, but you also get a multi. I did those. I actually think these for $5, I think these could be pretty good, but like what I'd recommend is I wish there was one way to get more money, but I mean, 1 day remaining on this, 330 paid gems. You get 10% bonus gems, which is not much. 10% bonus gems, is that better than 15 levels on a character? I don't know. You get 15% bonus gems on the 1000. But either way, getting these level berries are very good as long as you don't waste them. Use them wisely. But like I kind of look to spend like if I was gonna probably advise anyone how to spend money, I would say I think this one's kind of a trap. The gold guidestones are fine, but they're not like insane. I would say buy this. This is $20. You get, if you buy this, you get 15 berry boosts, and then buy 2 of these. This brings you up to 300 gems if you're a light spender. This would be, I would consider, is $30 a month a light spender? No, that's a medium spender, I guess. It's not, it's far from a heavy spender. The gaps could be pretty big, I would say, but $30 under a light spender, that's so weird to put as a light spender. Double the World of Warcraft subscription, you know? So maybe I do consider $30 a month a medium spender. Not Dolphin, but like if it goes like Minnow, which people spend like $1 to $5 a month, then it's like, I don't know, Krill, I don't know, something like that. $30 a month, I do not consider a high spender. You have to take into, it is important to take into context what people, spend. High spenders, like we have two messages back to back. $30 is pretty light, $30 is heavy. Of course I'm biased. Why do you think I'm considering it a small to medium? But it's like a high spender does $30 a month is not high spending. This is a gacha. What are you talking about? People literally spend thousands of dollars on gachas all over the world. Like every gacha in the world has people that spend hundreds and thousands of dollars a month. Those are high spenders. And those might be, you know, then we could, if you want more categories, it doesn't really matter. The point is there could be super mega high spenders or just super mega ultra high spenders. Like you can keep creating more tiers. But like if we're taking high as in the upper end, $30 is nowhere near the upper end. I'm not saying $30 isn't a lot of money, but in context of what players spend, $30 is not what the high end of players are spending. Yeah, the amount of $30 being a lot of money, I think is much less subjective. I think that's like, yeah, everyone can say spending $30 a month on a game is a decent amount. But in terms of how much, like when you're comparing yourself to other players, is that a high amount to spend in a game compared to what other people are spending? I don't think so. $30 a month is in the top 5% of what people play this game spend. I don't know if those numbers are accurate. Now, it sounds like a source, dude, just trust me, but I'm willing to acknowledge if that is accurate, that I would then have to agree with you that the top 5% would be high. But I can't just believe it based off a comment. But we're kind of off track. We're kind of off track. The point is, if someone wants to spend $30 a month, if someone wants like, hey, Platt, how should I spend money? What I would do as a bare minimum per month as a spending money is I would buy the $20 a month thing to get 15 boost berries, and I'd buy 2 of the level up packs. So you get up 25 boost berries and 300 gems. So you could take any character plus 25 levels. I would not do it that way. I'd probably bring 3 level 80 characters to 85, or, you know, or like 5 level 8, like I'd give like a bunch of characters 1 or 2 gems, something, or 1 or 2 of the berries or whatever. Once they get closer to 90, 100, start boosting those characters. Don't just bring a level 75 up to level 90, because that's just a lot of wasted experience. But after that, the 300 gems is enough to get you the daily pull. So 100% save your free-to-play gems then, and then spend your 300 gems a month on this, because this is the general pool, but every 30 days you're guaranteed a 5-star. You get 3 multis. You get 3 multis and a guaranteed 5-star for 300 gems. That's it. That's a very good deal compared to everything else in the game. It's not even close. Other games wish they had a multi-system like this. This is insane. 66% off with a hard monthly pity. That's very good. You're likely, so that means for this is a 300 gem. You're guaranteed to get 1 5-star. You're likely to get 2 5-stars, because if it's 4%, that's about 1 in every 25 pulls. So you're averaging over a long period of time, not saying your individual case isn't the same, you're averaging 2 5-stars for 300 gems, which is $30, but that's averaging $15 per 5-star. Like, that's a pretty fucking good deal in the gacha world. I know the $20 berries gives you more per dollar, but you can't buy that. That's the reason the way they do it the way they do, right? You can't buy, they don't have 6 available in the shop. That's true. 5% of people that spend money versus 5% of the people that play the game. Yeah, there's no doubt that's probably a pretty big thing, because if someone, there's a lot of people that just won't spend money on gacha games, which is fine because a lot of people do spend money. But if you go to the special shop, they don't sell 6 of these. If they sell 6 of these, buy 6 of these. But they only seems like they sell 3 a week. And so 3 a week, So I mean, you could buy 3 one week and then 3 another week. That's very reasonable, and you would get more berries. That's probably what I would recommend then. Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. I thought it was a monthly reset, not a weekly. So you do it 1 week, you buy 3 of these. The next week you buy another 3. That's 300 gems, 30 boost berries. In fact, that's what I'm gonna do. I might even buy those. I might buy this last $100. It's only like I'm spending $100 to get 150 gems, but 150 gems is half a multi, and I already know I'm going to spend $100 at some point anyway. Yeah, the $4.99 gives you more berries per dollar. 20 players spend 80% of the money. I could believe that. But what's worth noting is that 20% spending 80% is also like if only 1% of that is the top, you know, the top 1% of spenders probably aren't spending 70% of the money, right? I mean, that the other 19% that aren't super whales are a huge part of the income. I think it's like that's an important thing. Yeah, whales help games survive, but like there's a difference between, like, if you have 100 whales that spend, you know, $1,000 a month. Yeah, that's right. We're pulling out the calculator. If you have 100 whales and they each spend $1,000 a month, right? That's $100,000 a month from whales. But, you know, hypothetically, you know, you have 20,000 dolphins and they spend, I don't know, $30 a month because of the good deal, right? You're making 6 times more money by having a large volume of players spending less than a few players spending a lot. Which is why having this thing, like having a reasonable way for everyone to spend $30 a month is huge for the game. There was a data mine, I think, for the banner tomorrow, which is apparently a dancer, which seems really weird. Not really related to the discussion, but how do I get to Clearbrook? Need to upgrade my nut farm. Don't we all, buddy? Yeah, keep doing the main story. I don't remember which one. Battle passes live on that idea as well. Exactly. If 80% of the player base buys a battle pass, it's more than if you hypothetically just sold really expensive things to very few players. So if they do release the new dancer with their heal tomorrow, or whatever the day after, I don't know, it will be they'll have changed the pattern for how banners release, and then it's kind of like all bets are off, you know. So I'm not saying they won't. In fact, with data miners, it sounds like they're probably correct, right? My information, which is speculation, is worse than people that have dug into the game and found files and information, no doubt. But just as, you know, my thought process is why this is weird if they release it is because they've released one of every type, that they've gone through and started to release one of every type, right? They released the dancer, they got Primrose. They released a thief, we got Heathcote. We got Tressa. We got the guy that's currently in the shop. We got Theresa, whatever. So, right, these are the banners we've gotten. These are the new characters that have been added to the game, these 5. We have not gotten a new hunter, we have not gotten a new cleric, we have not gotten a new apothecary, and we have not gotten 2 dancers, 2 scholars, 2 thieves, 2 merchants, or 2 warriors. They've been adding 1 of every type. And so it would, to me, it would change everything if they release a second dancer as opposed to an apothecary, a cleric, or a hunter. They've seemed to be going out of their way, even releasing characters in a time where they weren't normally out. People are like, oh, we got this character early. We got this character early. So it will be weird to not have an apothecary, hunter, or cleric released. They've only added info into the game. They can still have data for tomorrow. They have use a different banner. True, like that's come. I don't think anything's set in stone. And Darvis says they disagree with me in Twitch chat here. So, you know, of course, I'm not a genius. I'm just giving you my speculation. My speculation isn't better or worse than yours. I just give you what I think and why I think it. If someone convinces me otherwise, then I will be convinced otherwise. If someone If I think someone has a bad argument, I won't believe them. Theo Scarecrow is definitely happening. I gotta believe. There's no way we're not getting a new step up. We're always getting new step ups. There's definitely, we have 2 more step ups coming. Definitely that one and then another one. And then I don't know what they're going to add after that. They might even move another character. Like Heathcote might go into the general pool tomorrow too. That'd be pretty cool. Hi, Vlad, I got a question. In feats, where do you read One Woman's Desire achievement? I don't even know what that is. I'm sorry. One Woman's Desire achievement? Balance-wise, it's off, but I think they're doing the dancer for the arena. Very possible. Didn't Sophia Fiora step up come out with the Primrose same week? I mean, maybe. I don't know. The step-up banners seem to just be coming in a semi-random order. There's like, we just want to do all these, so we're just going to release them and to get them all, but we don't want to double up. I feel Hasume's data ahead probably because she's paired with Corrin pretty much in terms of lore. It's very possible that she shows up in the game's data because she is connected to a character that's out and that she's not actually being planned for release right now. They push for last month units specifically for the Tilken Cup, which is 3 friggin' months ahead comparing to JP, and it's way too hard for 95% of players yet. That's possible, Dervis. Again, you sound like you have more information. I don't know what the Tilken Cup is. It hasn't been released into the game yet, so I can't say what they haven't been doing is good or bad. Yeah, I do think, like, I think we've already had good evidence that the JP schedule is not necessarily relevant. Everyone seems to be agreeing that it's like, no one really cares that the JP schedule, sorry, is like not seemingly accurate. One Woman's Desire, you go into the basement of the Tower of Remembrance, reading the memoir won't do anything. Huh. 95% is a bit far-fetched. I would say maybe 20% can't beat Tilken. I'm excited. I have no idea. I'm excited for some challenging content, for sure. I like that we're not following JP's schedule as well, as long as they do it right. I think they're releasing banners too fast, right? No one... Like, so there's a major issue with speeding up content. And there's a major upside. There's 2 sides, right? Getting more frequent content updates makes the game more fun because you have less days of just like, for the next 3 weeks, I'm just grinding dailies because why the fuck wouldn't I? There's nothing else to do. On the other hand, even releasing a lot of content means free-to-play players and everyone has less gems than JP did at the exact same point. So we have less resources by playing content faster to actually do all the shit. Many JP creators threw videos from this fight, which is clean, but they use 1-year accounts. We never had a fight in which you need AoE heal every turn to survive. I mean, luckily, what we do have is Millard and Theo in the game. They're both great AoE healers. Yeah, the faster stuff comes out, but the main issue is like, that means like when Tilken comes out, we'll have had less gems. We'll have hundreds and hundreds of less gems if it says that we're getting it. If we're getting this 3 months ahead, how many gems do you get in a month? Someone even mentioned earlier, I think. Let me see if I can find when we were disagreeing about the step ups. You get around 600 gems. So like you're getting like potentially 1,800 gems less. From a JP guide I saw, it's recommended, the recommended character level for Tilken Cup was 85. Oh, that's not too bad. I mean, okay, that's high, but it's like not as bad as I was thinking. Exactly. The reason it's not that bad is because it's not going anywhere from what I understand. And in fact, it's nice to have things to strive. It's okay to not, if it doesn't go away, it's nice to have content to strive towards and work towards. That's the good thing about a lot of the content. It sounds like the content is not limited. Where's my party at? I mean, even I'm not there yet, right? I mean, I have a lot of berry gems, probably. If I really want to complete the content, if I go here, how many berry gems do I have? I still got 27 boost berries that I haven't used. So if I like, oh, I really need a character leveled up. But like, yeah, is Wingate going to make the cut? Probably not. He can only get to level 80, right? Viola's 87. Look at that. Any new unlocked? Nope. 90. At level 88, you do get debilitate level 2. Lightning, light, wind, bow, and fan. I mean, no one pulled on the lightning character, so that's kind of irrelevant. And the new light guy, he doesn't even have a multi-light attack. I don't think. Right? Sounds like Scarecrow's gonna be pretty good, though. Gilderoy is probably the best lightning breaker in the game, besides, obviously, the character no one pulled on. Wingate can't go to 85. He has max 4-star, so 80. Level doesn't matter if they are useful. Yeah, it doesn't matter to an extent, but also sometimes it is reasonable, especially if they're in the back row, I guess. But it is also reasonable that they might just get slapped. They might not have the defense. Especially if, but right now they could still equip the strongest gear. If they ever release like level 90 gear, level 85 gear, which I'm sure will happen eventually. I do think that it will likely, I brain farted. I forgot what I was saying in the middle of my sentence. What were we talking about? Wingate. Yeah, he's still probably good. He'll definitely fall off later, but I think he could still be good here. I'm excited for Gilderoy to be good, depending on how this unit does their fights. Scarecrow will be great. My Scarecrow is only 4 stars, so I'm not going to be using Scarecrow because he has no good abilities at 4.5 stars. Gilderoy sounds like he's going to be clutch. Triple lightning, and hopefully his taunt is really good. Like, hopefully his taunt is really good for this fight. Yeah, but I'm not pulling on Step Up Scarecrow. I'm not going to pull... We've already talked about this! Cho! I mean, I could pull on it, but I would still rather save. Hello, True Ryu. How you doing? I'm saying I hope his taunt is good, but I'm not going to rely on it being good because the taunt's never been good. Not yet. It hasn't been good yet in the game. They do too much single damage. Even for him, even with 30% damage reduction, I mean, I'm going to try it. Will there be a new step tomorrow? I thought so, but maybe we're another day away. Maybe it's 2 days. Maybe it's on the 1st. I don't know. Everything's always been on Tuesdays. Or, you know, Wednesdays, Tuesday night, Wednesday morning type thing. But for, you know, my time zone. But maybe I'm just full of shit, you know? Maybe I'm full of shit. Who's leaving the party? Get out of here, Millard. No one even likes you. If you see Fabio, let me know. I must have went past him. I mean, obviously I went past him. Lara. God! Just organize it by fucking name. Everyone's gonna be like, oh, he was right there. Did you miss him? You missed him. Shut up. I didn't see him. All right, here we go. Shame this game doesn't have a bigger following. I wish it did. I mean, if it did, I'd have more views. That'd be nice. You pass him. Shut up, Darvis. Darvis. I'll go. Someone ban him from chat. I'm kidding. I didn't even know COJC was coming. Had to hear from a friend. Yeah, it's I was following it for quite a while. Yes, it's tomorrow, just no update. There will be a new step up for sure. According to Meow database, Scarecrow 5-star is literally a must for Tilken right now. Listen, don't take anything anyone says, even me, as gospel. You gotta don't lose before you've ever tried. Don't say like this is a must-have unit or you can't complete the fight. Do the fight first. And then if you can't do it, then you can't do it. Come back next month. Come back in a few weeks. Come back later. It's fine. But don't fail before you ever try. Have a good fucking time. Enjoy the difficult content. And when you can't beat it, if you can't beat it, just come back later. Topic, but I need seals for my 4.5 stars. Do you think 20 rubies are worth it for an extra hunt? No. They are not. I have done them many times, but I don't recommend other people do it. I wanted experience. Ayo, Plat, you have a guide which hunts to focus for specific class seals? I mean, I kind of do. I think I have a video about hunts, but they're the recommended classes. I'm pretty confident that I've included that in a video at some point about hunts. How you doing, Orgrimmar? Also, I think you get about 250 rubies on the fights leading up to the Tilken Cup. That's great. I love events that give you fat sacks of gems. I do kind of hope they reset and you can get gems multiple times, like every month, but that's probably way too much to ask for. It's not too much to ask for, but it's not going to be how it works. They say it's 280 duck sauce, you idiot. Wow, now I've spread misinformation. Someone ban this kid. Could someone ban this kid? I'm kidding, rubber duck sauce. Someone did say it was 280, not 250 though, which is nice. When expert hunts come, you get 2 tickets per day, aka more chances for gold seals, which is wonderful. I'm very excited. They're not free, you need to win hard fights, but they're free. They're free. You have to win hard fights, but you're either gonna eventually beat the hard fights because you play a lot and you play for a long time, or you're not gonna beat the hard fights because you stopped playing the game, in which case you didn't need the gems anyway. As long as they're not gated behind time, then they're free gems. They're just there, you know, you just got to get a ladder tall enough to get to those apples. I hope this game lasts for years. Afraid if I spend too much and then they announce the end of service after 2 to 3 years. I mean, that's very honestly, if we get 2 to 3 years out of this game, I mean, is that a failure? I don't think so. 2 to 3 years is a long time for one of the best video games I've ever played, in terms of one of the best mobile games I've ever played, and one of my favorite video game stories. I don't want the game to end after 2 years or 3 years, but like, I don't think that's a failure. But I don't want to invest. Don't use the word invest. Don't use the word invest. I don't want to spend, $10,000, $15,000. Romancing Sage Re-Universe is still going, and that game has a smaller community. Yeah, the fact that we have Japan ahead of us and they're still making content for it, like if JP starts to look like it might shut down, that's when you really got to worry. Because that means if JP is shutting down, that means we're either right behind them or we're not going to probably catch up then. It's not like JP shuts down and they're a year ahead and then we have a year more of content. They probably just shut down the whole shebang. This game can last even 10 years, but Square making same mistake again. They're milking whales to the quit point. I mean, I don't know. I don't fully agree, but I don't know what it's like in JP. And the current state of the game, you don't need any of that shit. It all depends on how hard content is and how frequently content comes out. But like, if they give you the ability to spend $100,000, but everyone that spends, $100 or, less can clear all the content, then it's like, are they really milking anything? They're just selling you shiny buttons to wear on your vest that you can't even show to anybody, more so than making things required. But again, all gachas tend to go down both a more greedy and generous route, but we'll find out. All right, I don't want to. I don't have the knowledge to accurately speculate where shit's gonna go, so I don't do it. Yeah, I heard Dragalia Lost is ending as well. $30 for a 10 shot is way too high. 6K Gems Pity is actually not that bad for two things. One, it's always a bad deal to spend straight money for pulls. This game has 66% discount pulls if you do an individual pull a day. So for $30, you get 30. It's $10 a multi if you do that. But 6K Gems Pity is high. It's 200 pulls, but it's also a better pity than I've seen from most gacha games at launch. That's not all gacha games at launch. That's most gacha games on launch. For example, in Dragon Quest Tact, there was no pity originally. And then when they came out with the pity, eventually it was 150 pulls. And for Dislight, yeah, they had a pity of 100, but their rates were 1%. It might have even been more. Was it 120? I don't know. But Dislight was like 100 for the pity. And it's like, yeah, it rolls over. It's just cool. But at the same fucking time, their pity for their unit didn't exist. And then it was like after 400 pulls, you go up to a 10% chance to get the unit. Or something like that. You would need to pull like 800 times to hit pity in Dislight. And I'm not saying you just because you compare a shit gacha system to this, it makes this gacha system better. I just think the daily pay gems are very good and everything else is kind of bad. The step ups are like pretty reasonable. I still don't think they're worth it, but like if someone's gonna spend money, I'd rather them spend money on 50% price pulls. Tell us how you really feel about Dislight. That game is a shit sandwich. I think the system's fine now. I still think it's like way better than games that have just come out. I'm not comparing it to all games, but specifically Dislight, which just came out, which has had a very big following and been very successful, made a lot of money. I mean, I think they're kind of burning the candle at both ends. I think the game's definitely not going to last. But this game is fantastically more generous in that regard. Another Eden is a skeleton model for COTC. Yeah, because it's the same devs, right? And still doing great after years. We can never know how things end, so just enjoy the game now. Yeah, so, look it. If you spend $10,000 in this game and it closes, that shouldn't matter. And now I know that sounds crazy, but remember, you're not investing. This is not an investment. You are spending money on entertainment. When you spend money on entertainment, you shouldn't expect a return over a long period of time. So if you want to pull a 5-star unit and you want to max awaken them, I understand that it feels like it sucks when the game ends, but understand that you're never getting that money back regardless. If the game ends or doesn't end, you're not getting that money back. So spend within your means. Spend within your means and just have a good time. Dislight has some terrible practices, but you could literally get 4 to 5 singles a day from playing for a while, but not by the end game. But you could get a bunch of singles. It's true, you can get a bunch of singles, but they also made it impossible to get any units. It's true, it's like, all right, so a 1% rate on their high ranking units. So you have to do 4 times as many pulls than you do in this game on average to get a 5-star. And then the 5 stars aren't even equal because the banner units are barely a boost. And then on top of that, they also have Shimmer, a subtype where it's a 1% roll within a 1% roll to even get them even in the general pool. So you have a 1% chance of a 1% chance. Now you have a 10% chance within a 1% chance. So you have and that's not even for a specific unit. That's a 10% chance within a 1% chance of getting one type of unit. So you have a 1 in 1,000 pull chance of getting a Shimmer 5-star or a Shimmer Legendary, whatever the fuck they're called. I think the special on the roadmap is likely to be a collab. There's no way it's not, right? Otherwise, because if it was anything game related, they would have just included it. I play and have a few Square named gachas, and they still don't learn. Global audience is different from JP, absolutely. But I think the daily 10 gem poll is actually like the best thing I've seen in a gacha. One of the best ways to spend money in any gacha I've ever seen. Because it gives you what you want, it gives you polls. It gives you what you want, and it gives it to you at a great price. Comparatively to the, you know, the price anchoring predatory $30 for a multi. If every week they would throw a 300 paid 10 pulls with 5 stars, every whale would get it. What is this? If every week they would throw 300 paid 10 pulls with 5 stars. I don't fully understand what you're saying there. This is probably based on my reading comprehension, not your typing. Could it be special attacks? It could be. It feels a little early, but everything feels a little bit early. No offense that it could. Maybe it feels a bit early for a collab, but I don't think they want free-to-play players to obtain all the collab heroes. It's still a gacha. This game may be like the most fun mobile game I've played by a long shot, but it is a gacha, which is a predatory business model inherently, and not. I think it's a pure negative for a game that I really like. So I still think that they're going to try to get as much money as they can. And so releasing, hopefully they don't like straight fuck people, but releasing collabs when free-to-play players won't be able to afford them, I think is probably a plan. It's probably, you know, it's a feature, not a bug kind of thing. And they probably already have, with how consistently things are coming out, and they already had a roadmap, like they seem to already have like the rest of the year planned out where they know exactly what's going to happen. I'm still trying to get part of they don't have a content creator program, but I'm trying to get into the point where I can get their assets and stuff for things that are announced, maybe get slightly early information that I can't share, sign an NDA. Yeah, the reruns they could actually do reruns, and I believe they do. That's one issue with like Dragon Quest Tact had a collab for Dragon Quest Die or whatever, but it like even though it's a Dragon Quest thing, they can't rerun their collaboration.
Yeah.
I want to thank you guys for a successful stream so far, by the way. I'm enjoying you guys all being here. Been having fun talking about the game. Today we're completing all the Traveler stories. We might do a longer stream as well. Strongly suspect the Nier collab in October because the Nier game is on Switch is coming. It's possible. I don't know. I tend to not correlate real life stuff with what they're gonna do in the game. People were like convinced that the game was going to come out on 8/28, you know, or 8/18 or 8/8, but the game came out on like what 7/27, right? Like, so people are like, no, the game, you would be shocked at what they'll do to ensure they keep the number 8 relevant. I'm like, yeah, they're not going to release a game multiple weeks or a month after their planned release date just because it has 8s in it. So I don't know. I'm not sure how much real life other events that aren't directly related to the game will line up with the collab, right? They already revealed Nier collabs and other Square gachas around this time. I mean, it's possible. I'm not saying it's not possible, but I'm saying I don't necessarily think it's like a huge indicator. It's not really like that. It would be weird also. Nier isn't normally the first one, right? Nier isn't Bravely Default supposed to be the first one? Hey, you won 2 battle-tested spears for my first fight against the boss. I did too. I got 2 battle-tested spears, 2 battle-tested axes. You surprised you haven't done all the side stories? I mean, they added a bunch. I did them all before they added a bunch more, and then I just haven't. I've been playing, but I've worked like the last 8 days in a row. So I've been streaming the dailies and then getting off and not getting back on. And then when I go on at night, I've been at nighttime I've been doing the Kate farming to get experience, which I'm probably gonna do tonight also. I'm just gonna lay in bed for an hour while watching something on YouTube on my TV and probably just farm Kates for like an hour or two. Try to get a little bit of experience. I hope they have a Final Fantasy 14 collab one day and get more FF14 player base to play as well. I mean, I hope they get more players to play as well. I have nothing, I don't think anything special of Final Fantasy 14 myself, but you know, I don't like Final Fantasy 14, but I also want as many people to play as can. So I don't care who plays or what genre. If suddenly the World of Warcraft community also picked it up, I'd be like, hey, cool. Final Fantasy 14 picks it up, cool. Obviously, there's a much closer relationship to Final Fantasy 14 due to the developers and style of game. A Final Fantasy 14 collab would probably win. Like, if I could pick collaborations, obviously, I would pick shit that they're not gonna pick at all. I would not pick. I wouldn't have picked Nier. I wouldn't have picked Octopath. Octopath. Sorry. I mean, I wouldn't have picked Triangle Strategy. I wouldn't have picked Bravely Default. I wouldn't have done any of these collabs. If I wanted like per platypus themed collabs, what would I do? Let's take a look at my recent Steam games. Lloyd Irving from Tales of Symphonia. Fuck yeah, how cool would that be? Fucking add Kamari. Add Auron from Final Fantasy X. Add Jekt. Oh shit, how cool would Jekt be? How fucking cool would Jekt be, man? Add who's my favorite? Add Yusuke. Is it Yusuke? Sosuke? Persona 5? The artist? Why can't I remember his name right now? How cool would Joker be? If they do a Persona 5, if they just like said, hey, fuck you, JP, and they did a Persona 5 crossover here, oh baby, I would be in. I don't care how much. I would spend $300, $600 per unit. Yusuke. I would absolutely pull on him. Oh my god. Chrono Trigger. Oh my god. If they had Frog or Robot, like these are the kind of collabs I can get fucking excited about. Fuck yeah. No new content's been revealed. It's speculation based off the banner ending and everything always coming Wednesday morning. However, it seems like we might just be getting a new Step Up banner and a new banner, but whatever. A Persona 5 crossover, Wolf or whatever is his name, the cop. The cop. From Persona 5, the cop? I don't remember that. Haru? Man, imagine Frog. That would be so fucking cool. Maybe we get lucky and we get a Sea of Stars crossover. Oh, P5 Strikers. I never played P5 Strikers. It is not my style of game. But I mean, I might at some point. I mean, I still like it enough. It was never time. We might get lucky and get a Sea of Stars. That's the successor to Chrono Trigger. Final Fantasy 6 characters would fit. I'm not the biggest Final Fantasy 6 fan. I'd rather have Squall and Cloud and Tifa and Vincent. I mean, I'll take Kate Sith. I actually like Kate Sith. Just add League of Legends characters. Add Garen. Quit being a coward. Sorry, what are we doing? We have to add Carol to our party. Dragon Quest 8. I would still pick Dragon Quest 12 way over Dragon Quest 8. No offense. I've beaten them both multiple times. But like, I'd pick Sylvando. I would get Sylvando. Sylvando would be a dancer, but he would have the visual of a whip. FF16 was the OG, man. FF6 was the OG, man. Super sad story and great heroes. Listen, I'm not here to make enemies. I don't think Final Fantasy VI holds up. I think if you played Final Fantasy VI when it came out, it was such a groundbreaking, I think it's such a groundbreaking, incredible game that completely redesigned what an RPG could be. It showed Square Enix's master over the equipment they were using. I don't think it holds up. The writing is ridiculously bad. The characters have just the worst writing of all time. They have no depth to them. The story is most of the time just doesn't make sense. Like, it's just like weird, and they make weird decisions and weird things happen for no reason. Exactly, you're right, Pablo. This thing, I played Final Fantasy VI for the first time ever, start to finish, like 4 months ago. And I was like, this game is fine. It's okay. It did not hold up. I am from the PS1 generation. You're absolutely right. I don't think Final Fantasy VI holds up.
Whoa.
Someone posted my OnlyFans joke. The opera scene is the best part of Final Fantasy VI. Final Fantasy VI has exactly like 5 really good, cool parts, and then a bunch of like bad dialogue and lack of character development of any real substance. And like it's I understand. Here, 1 second. Let me do this. Let me do this. I have a video on my YouTube channel dedicated to this quest, dedicated to the Wisp, but it's private. Okay, here we go. It's a video that I have on private, unlisted, as Kyle Bossman explains why I also don't love Final Fantasy VI. We're just gonna watch this. It's like 2 minutes.
But what is close to being a good video game is Final Fantasy VI. Yeah, I'd say it's close. I'd say this game's pretty close to being a good video game. It's like, I genuinely think that this is one of the most fun RPGs to stream because of how flexible it is. Like, I had a great time last week benching half the team who was like right there in the party, and still beating a boss, you know, like still getting by my way, which is always really fun. So I like that about it. I like, you know, that we have this Yeti in the party, but I think that comes with a cost. And the cost is that Yeti cannot matter to the story. They weren't ready for it yet. Nobody's ever going to acknowledge my Yeti for being a Yeti. None of the characters are ever going to talk to each other about it. And so, like, I have a picture of a Yeti walking around on the map, but it almost never feels like it's actually acknowledged. I saw a really interesting comment on the YouTube upload from last week about how, like, I don't seem to be enjoying the story because I'm like not allowing myself to get into the characters, that I'm more interested in this game mechanically. And I think that's kind of true. I think that like my interest in the story and the dialogue is like strictly textual, where it's almost like it's the old RPG thing where a town is represented by 4 buildings, but that's not the actual size of that town. The town is much more than those 4 buildings you see on the screen. In the same way, you have to imagine, at least in this game, that the dialogue is more than what you're reading. You have to imagine these characters are saying more to each other in more eloquent ways. Like, you have to do the same extrapolation on the dialogue, because what's there textually is not enough. Like, what's there textually is just kind of is soft and weak, and just like, it doesn't make sense if you don't have the right party. Yeah, your imagination has to do work, I think, to fully appreciate these characters as they are presented.
There we go. That's my general view on Final Fantasy VI. I feel that. I feel that in my heart. I was reading it. I was like, oh, the characters aren't very good. Their dialogue is very weak. But I don't think it's a bad game. It's one of those things that, like, I think it's close to being a really good game by today's standards, but it's not quite there for me. Now, I will say there is a caveat to everything that I've said. There's one caveat in all of Final Fantasy VI, and this is the same for Final Fantasy IX, in my opinion, which I'm also not a fan of. They're slightly different, but in Final Fantasy VI, Celis is by far my favorite character, has the most development, his actual real substantial growth and change as a character, and is very, very good in that game. She never left my party for a fucking second that she was allowed to be in my party because she is wonderful. I think 9 is better than 6. I think 9's a good game, but I think it's, if you're playing Final Fantasy 7, 8, like in order, my favorites go Final Fantasy 10, Final Fantasy 8, Final Fantasy 7, Final Fantasy 12. Then we'll go with like it's still probably like 3, 2, 9, 6, and then 1, 3, 5. I think 4 is the worst. I think 4 is the worst. I hated 4. I didn't enjoy almost any of my time with it. I disagree. I think 8 is my second favorite Final Fantasy. I pretty much love everything about that game. I love the story. I love the characters. I love the setting. I love the environments. I love the music. I love the junction system and character development. I will say there's a big caveat. I think Final Fantasy VIII has a pretty lousy combat system itself. Not particularly engaging. It's a little too... It's very difficult if you don't know how to play. It's too difficult if you don't know how to play the game the way the game wants to be played. And the inverse, it's way too fucking easy if you know how to play the game very well. You don't ever have to draw in Final Fantasy VIII. So this is why I give a half point to people that say that. I don't think it's an accurate point, but it's enough of a point that I agree with a little bit. You never have to pull ever in the game, almost ever, because you can make all your magic with items that you find and buy in the world. You can go refine items into magic and nearly never have to draw ever. That being said, the game does not explain that shit at all. And the fact that it's like in a menu that's in a menu and it's not necessarily made clear, not very well explained, it's not unreasonable. The way the game presents the tutorial and how to play, it implies that you're going to want to draw magic frequently. So people do this and they spend their first 5 hours of the game filling up on magic, and then they feel like they can't spend it when none of that is accurate to the actual how you play. But that is how the game presents it. Even though you could use magic the whole time, whenever you want, you can get tons of magic whenever you want, top up with magic stones and refining magic. And so you never have to worry about it. The magic system in 8 is awful. I disagree. I really like it. I like that you can get access to really late game magics early. You can use them in any way you want. You can either use them as powerful spells. You can use them to make your attack stronger. You can use them to give your attacks elemental effects or status effects or become immune to them. I think the junction system is really good, but that's why I'm weird. Most people don't agree. This is why a game is unbalanced when a game presents itself is nullified by something that fell through the cracks and exploited. Yeah, the game is very unbalanced, but that's one of my favorite things about it. It's a game I don't think it's designed. You could be set to beat the game within 10 hours easily. You never even have to do a fight and you could beat the game because you could use triple triad to get cards and refine the cards into the late game magic. And you could be literally hitting for damage cap within within 3 to 10 hours of starting the game if you know what you're doing. I personally like that. I think it means the game is very open to customizing your experience, and you can then be as strong or as weak as you want, make the game as easy or as hard as you want. It's got a built-in difficulty slider, essentially, based on how you play, which is great because it could be good and it could be bad. So you have to put on self-regulating difficulty settings. But if you want to do a challenge run of Final Fantasy VIII, like no junctioning, you could do that. Just like in Final Fantasy X, you could do challenge runs of no sphere grid. You can literally beat all of Final Fantasy X from start to finish without ever leveling up once on the sphere grid. And that's the kind of like exploits and knowledge that you can have over 8 as well. It's a little bit easier in 8 than it is on 10, but I do think that is there. Your favorite RPG is probably FF12. I liked FF12 when I played it the first time. I wasn't in love with it the second time. I think FF12 is good. It's one of the it's one of the very rare games where I think the re-release, the Zodiac edition, made the game worse. Like significantly worse, actually. Maybe it's because of how I play games or whatever, but I think having characters locked into their own specific jobs completely soured most of the experience to me. Because now instead of being able to go in and play and pick what I want, I have to go and look up fucking builds and guides. That way I can find like, all right, well, I want to make sure that my character that's going to do this can use this specific equipment in the late game. Okay, so now I have to have this character do this and this character do that. You can't adapt and play it how you want. You have to do these stupid pre-built characters. I don't like that. I like the original FF12 more. I think the FF12 fast forwarding feature was a negative. It helps you get through the game faster, but it also trivializes almost all the difficulty for most of the game because you're farming way more than you realize. This from traveling between zones. I do like FF12. I think the Zodiac edition was a downgrade, which is very weird. Again, I can go into a whole... I'm almost the only human that doesn't like FF9. I'm almost there. I think FF9 is the most overrated of all the Final Fantasy games by a relatively large margin. And before anyone says anything, all right, people always make the same point and are not listening to the words that I'm saying or don't understand the words that I'm saying. I'll say Final Fantasy IX is the most overrated Final Fantasy game. And they'll say, how can you say Final Fantasy IX is the most overrated when Final Fantasy VII exists? And I'm like, there's overrated means that overrated. I think Final Fantasy VII is about as good as it's rated. I really think it's that good of a video game. Final Fantasy IX, I think, is rated here, and I think its quality is here. So I think it's overrated. Where 7, I think, is pretty close to being properly rated. Even if it's rated higher, I'm not saying Final Fantasy IX is rated higher than Final Fantasy VII. I'm saying I think Final Fantasy IX is overrated more so than Final Fantasy VII. I think Final Fantasy VII is essentially a masterpiece. Final Fantasy IX was too normal. I mean, so here, this is where I think the crux of my opinion probably comes in. I think Final Fantasy IX has out of 7, 8, 9, 10, I think 9 has the worst combat system. 8 is close though. 8 doesn't have a very good combat system, but I think 9's a little bit worse in some ways because it has the animations doesn't stop combat bars and you can't make animations stop combat bars. I think the main story, I think Final Fantasy IX had a more obscure, weird story than 8 personally. Like suddenly I was on a ship and we were clones of a different species and then a different alien man comes down from a ship and then this guy is not really the bad guy. It goes back to the original bad guy, but it's not that. I don't know. It became really weird. But I like my least favorite Final Fantasies are 1 through 5, right? So 9 is like a callback to old Final Fantasies. And old Final Fantasies are my least favorite. I know that's what it was built on, but it doesn't make them my favorite. You know, I still think 7 was like the turning point of really, really good Final Fantasy games. And then 10 was the turning point where it's suddenly, after that, they all became bad. I mean, I won't say Final Fantasy 14 is bad. I don't think Final Fantasy 14 is bad. And Final Fantasy 15 is like, okay. Final Fantasy 5 is the base for Bravely and Octopath. Yeah, but 5 sucks. I'm sorry. I think 5 sucks. I think the job system sucks. It's the second worst job system that I've played in a video game. And it's not saying that it's not the grandfather, but it being the base doesn't make it the best version. The opposite, it does make it the worst version most of the time. I think that Bravely Default, Octopath, Final Fantasy Tactics took basically all of the job system shit that they did in Final Fantasy V and made it way better. And Final Fantasy V isn't even like, when did Final Fantasy V come out? When did Final Fantasy V come out? Let's find out. Final Fantasy V release date. December 6th, 1992. When did 1 second, let's find out. All right, look at Dragon Warrior 3 came out in 1988. It came out 4 years sooner. You guys probably can't see this very well. It's not quite there. This is the one with the job system, right? Like, this game already had a job system in place. Or was it not the job system? Was this the vocations? It's like, yeah, don't you get the ability to switch jobs in the future? I beat this game. I just don't remember. Yeah. Could change vocations after reaching all trades Abbey. So it's like, these are like the worst job systems in video games, I think. Although maybe, I remember Final Fantasy 3 Remake being good, but I don't remember it anymore. But I played it on the DS, which I think was the first time it came out. But it's like, it's fine. Doesn't make it good though. 12 is better than 15. I agree. I think 12 is definitely better than 15. What's weird, I describe 15 as being like a 9 out of 10 game. Like, when the game is good, Final Fantasy 15 I think is genuinely a 9 out of 10 experience. Like, almost perfect, so good. But then there's like, that's like 10% of the game to 20% of the game, and it's like 80% of the game for me was like a 4 out of 10. Like, it just wasn't very good. But the parts that I loved, I was absolutely in love with in 15, and I almost wanted to drop the game and never play it again for the rest. I expected more viewers here. I don't get that many viewers. I mean, I may be slightly popular in the COTC crowd, but not that popular. Like, overall. I don't even know if I'm popular in the COTC crowd. None of the only content creator to ever reach out to me was 2 Cent Mobile. 15, he could beat I think the Final Fantasy 15's combat was fucking terrible. It was clearly the worst out of the, like, I might not be exaggerating if I say I think Final Fantasy 15's combat was the worst in the entire franchise. I need to farm for Master Vault Chapter 8. Well, you know what? Jump on it. I'm here to keep you entertained for a while. I got called out on Square Enix COTC. I was so pissed. I wanted to make that so bad but I was at work. I couldn't make that stream. Final Fantasy 7, this is what's incredible, is I agree with you. Final Fantasy 7 Remake refined the Final Fantasy 15 combat system. Absolutely. And here's the thing. Final Fantasy 7 Remake's combat system is so fucking good. It's so fun. It's engaging. It's got depth and complexity, and it's rewarding, and it feels cool, and it looks good. Everything about it is fucking great. And Final Fantasy 15 definitely feels like a super rudimentary bad version of it. So if Final Fantasy 7 Remake is any indicator, 16 is gonna be great. But man, my hair is crazy. But here's the thing. This is gonna be plat with just the conspiracy theory plat. Final Fantasy 16's already been out for 10 years, don't you know? Final Fantasy 7 Remake combat reminds me of the Trials of Mana combat when I played it. I might need to play that then. Different director and team. Yeah, Final Fantasy 15, I didn't think, like, again, Final Fantasy 15 didn't leave me with a lot of optimism that 16 will be good. Everything after 10 that's numbered, I haven't been a fan of. I didn't like 11. I may have never played 11, to be honest, though. 12, I think is good. I don't like it as much as I like the others. I liked it a lot as a kid on PS2. I just don't like the Zodiac remake. 13, come on. 14, it's not for me. 14 to me, I just like World of Warcraft so much more. It never had a chance. 15, 10 was like the last great Final Fantasy for me. But to be fair, I think 10 is like genuinely fucking great. Any suggestion? Your party's around level 60? I think level 60 is around where you need to be Master of All Chapter 8. I recommend instead farming up, making sure your whole party has level 60 equipment. That's going to help you more than just levels. I never played 11, so I can't really talk shit about it. So in other words, you like actual turn-based combat. Yeah, I think so. In my opinion, no combat in Final Fantasy has ever come close to how good the combat in Final Fantasy X is. It's clearly, in my opinion, it's clearly the best combat system. 8, 7, any ATBs, I think ATB gauges are purely worse than I think their ATBs are just straight up worse. Oh, I don't have my alert box on, do I? Wait, I got $5 super chat. Pablo, thank you. I think it just takes a while for the notification to show up. I like Dragon Quest more than I like Final Fantasy. So Dragon Quest has a better turn-based combat system. What the fuck? Alert box. It hasn't popped up in the mini feed yet. It must have like a huge delay. FF. Marvelous. Thank you very much, Pablo. That's fucking incredible. $5. I'm one step closer to being a career content creator. But FF10 random encounters rate was terrible sometimes. Yes, but there's good and bad things about it. Equipment farming, yeah. Any suggestions? Yeah, you got to do equipment farming. You just go to the area outside the tower to the right, and you farm up meteorite gear. Don't farm up more than you have to, because you are going to replace the gear shortly after. The Final Fantasy X combat system had a really, really high encounter rate sometimes. 2 caveats to that. You get the ability to turn off encounters later, which it's quite a bit later, but to be fair, you need the levels for your average playthrough. You can't just beat the game without these combats. The combats are difficult and very interesting. Each combination of enemies is like very different in how you handle it and which teammates you want to use. They really, I think, made the random encounters difficult in a good way. The road to Eldoris, yeah, go there. 10-2 was fucking so fun. I love 10-2. It's kind of a bad game in a lot of ways. Like it campy to the extreme. It was a fan service blada 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 thing, but it was still great. Pablo, thank you again though. That's like ridiculous. Final Fantasy VIII gives you the ability to turn off random encounters almost immediately. That's very worth noting. You can literally turn off random encounters for almost all of Final Fantasy VIII. That is a big boon for me. Big boon. I fucking love that. Because the random encounters weren't that fun. And I don't know if you remember this. Who are we looking for? I gotta pay attention for a second. But also, there's an achievement in Final Fantasy VIII on Steam for beating the game at your base level. They've designed the game. Final Fantasy VIII is designed in a way where you can beat the game without ever leveling up once. It's designed for that. And I really like that. You have to use a couple tricks in a few spots, but very, very rarely. Bosses don't give experience in that game. Titus is my least favorite character in any Final Fantasy game, so while overall I enjoy the game, there's a limit to how much I could. I like Titus, but I don't think he's fantastic. Titus is maybe my least favorite character in that game, but I don't think... I think he gets a lot of hate for being a very... I think he's a likable character. I think he's more likable than Cloud most of the time. Cloud is cool. Titus is definitely not cool, but I think he's okay. Yeah, Bravely Second lets you turn off random encounters. You can even do that in the first Bravely default, I think. But I think it's less good in a game that's not designed for that. Like you can't turn off the random encounters in Bravely Second and then probably just beat the entire game. Right? Maybe you can, but I don't know. And it's also, it's like, it's less interesting to me when it's a system on top. When you have like it feels like a cheat code where you can go into a menu and turn off random encounters. That's less cool than when in Final Fantasy X and in Final Fantasy VIII, it's within the context of the game. You need to get a GF. You need to get Diablo, which you get in a magic lamp. So you rub the magic lamp, you kill Diablo, and then Diablo could be junctioned, and you can then learn to turn encounters off. Where in Final Fantasy X, you can refine weapons that have no, that have turn encounters off. Like, that adds a lot to the, when they keep it within the context of the game, of in the game systems, like if Bravely Default just had it whereas like a specific class can turn off certain turn off encounters, I'm like, oh, that's awesome, thank you. But even then, I don't think that's a more convenience thing, and I don't think the game was designed to ignore all counters. Is this what I'm looking for? Sierra? Saria? Thank God. I can't pay attention. Aaron does make up for anything. Aaron's fantastic. I mean, Kamari's fantastic. Waka, although is got some silly voice lines, is fantastic. Lulu's awesome. Lulu's hot. Is there a bigger bae in all of Final Fantasy than Lulu? Come on. Bigger waifu? Seagull laugh. Yeah. Oh, I have to go to work. Not today, though. Love that feeling when you double kill Kates. You got to. I wouldn't know. I never double killed a Kate, but I will. Hey, Platt. What software do you use to mirror your phone to the screen, or are you on emulator? Diggs, I am using Reflector 3. If you find anything better, let me know. Riku more than Lulu? No, thank you. Riku is on top of being annoying, in my opinion. I mean, she's like a reasonable character, but she's like a kid, I guess. She's just like, I don't know. She's very skinny. I don't know. She doesn't have my body type. She definitely doesn't have my personality type. Lulu is great. If you had your Scarecrow not 4.5, you might get double Kate kills. I know, but I don't. Reflector. Nice. Is that free? I don't think so. I think I spent money on Reflector. But if you find something better, let me know. I mean, so computers, if you have Windows, there is a built-in feature. Like, you could just go, screen capture, mirror. It's built into Windows. You don't need a software. Windows screen mirroring. What's it called though? Project. Maybe it's called Project. I don't know. That's what Project. Projection settings. Does it work with iOS? Probably not. iOS fucking hates everything. But if you have an Android and you have a PC, they can connect to each other. I've been on Linux for the longest time, and of course we have free software for this. I have never used the Linux. I choose to use anything that doesn't require me to have any knowledge, because I have no knowledge. Queen Braun. Let's find out who this is. Tell me who Queen Braun is right now. If I Google this and this person's not hot, I'm gonna be so pissed. From Final Fantasy IX. I thought that this was an Oompa Loompa. I'm not convinced that's a human. Like, that's another thing I don't know. Their final product looks like shitty concept art. She's got meat on her bones, I'll give her that. Linux is not that hard. Currently on Windows again, so feels a bit lost. Thanks though. I mean, until I see the specific advantage of me being on Linux, I'm not sure. I want to be able to play literally every video game that comes out and not have to worry about support. I don't want to have a game company that has to make Linux so I could be on Linux. I'm okay using a worse product because the only thing I use it for is playing video games and watching YouTube. I mean, I make content, but like, I already have video editing software. I already have photo editing software that was all free. Linux D's nuts. Ha! Got him! Wormhole app to connect Android to PC. And it's like Nintendo Switch playing COTC with mouse on the TV. Well, that sounds pretty nice. Maybe I'm gonna look up this Wormhole app now. Is it something you download on your phone or a computer or both? You don't have to dodge crap where you go. My PC is like, I'm not a tech guy at all. You use Ubuntu? I don't know what that is. I'll look into this Wormhole app. It sounds like it could be nice. I don't see the benefit for myself personally. I like feeling dirty. Platt be a dirty boy. Don't you ever forget it. Guy. Here you go, Guy. Are you guys paying attention to the story? Because I'm not. Bing bong, bing ding bong, bing bong, bing ding bong. I'm gonna wake up at 4:30, like 4 in the morning tomorrow, to check to see if there's any new stuff to make videos on. And if there isn't, I'm still gonna record a video, but I don't know on what. Yeah. I like getting that dirty nut farm up and running. Oh, I need all that soil. Oh, this soil made my nuts so dirty. Oh, thanks Pablo for the big tip. Oh, I hope that my bank account can fit your big tip. I've been a little tight recently. Isn't tomorrow the big update? I hope so. I thought so, but now people are saying no. So now I'm living in a skeptical world. Yeah, I stopped paying attention after the 5th 3-star story that ends with the chief saying, "Good job! Wow, you did it!" Yeah, some of the stories are good. Like Primrose's was pretty good. But like new banner characters that come out should have good stories if we're gonna have them at all. You pulling on the new dancer if she comes out? Definitely no. Definitely no. I still don't think she's coming out next. Like, no matter what data miners say, I don't think she's coming out next. And I'll be absolutely glad to say that I'm wrong tomorrow when she comes out. But right now, I just don't think so. Tomorrow's at least a new banner. I was pretty confident Tilken Arena was starting tomorrow, but some people are saying we're a week out. I would be surprised, but I guess I wouldn't be shocked. I would just be surprised. I'd be like, all right, I guess. Whatever, we'll don't worry, we'll keep playing. Yeah, I think we'll get an Apothecary, Cleric, and Hunter before we get a double up on a Dancer, but that's just based off of the pattern they've been doing right now. It's not a coincidence that they haven't doubled up on any jobs yet. They've been releasing one of every job type. It's especially good early on because everyone's going to be thinking, oh, I need a good Hunter. And so they release a Hunter. Might be Friday. It's possible. It would be weird. They've done all their updates on the same day, but it's not impossible. Wingate is very nice. I like Wingate. Yeah, every player's like, oh, when is Cyrus coming out? Oh, some people were thinking Cyrus was going to be last week. Some people were thinking it's going to be this week. Everyone's like, oh, when Cyrus? Cyrus is probably like 3 months away, man. Maybe a month and a half. Why not pull her if she's next? She sounds appealing because of her SP. 1, I don't know what she does. 2, I don't want any more dancers. I got Primrose. I got to save for units that are of the original 8. I already have multiple characters with AoE. AoE healing. Even if she's like insane, I'm probably not going to pull her because I can't pull every character and I would rather pull the original 8 because the original 8 also, like, I suspect if I make a video saying 100 plus pulls on Dancer Girl is going to get less views than 100 plus pulls for Cyrus, you know? I got to kind of keep my gems in a context that I'm going to spend them and make content with them. So I need to kind of do what I think people want to see as well. I think we will get a hunter when the Tilken Cup comes out next Wednesday. It's coming out fucking tomorrow. No one's going to tell me otherwise. But it might be next Wednesday. But yeah, that would be a good time to get Hannah for sure. How do you level your higher level characters? Kate's only. Find such a drag post 70 that I've been stopping doing it. I mean, that's basically it. I mean, you can also spend money. If you want to, like, I don't want to do this, you could spend $10 a week and get 10 levels a week. You also get the gems. It's just a bonus, but you could buy the level boost berries. But outside of that, yeah, it's pretty much doing the Kates. Daily Kates, farming extra Kates. It's a slow process. Yeah, there's still 2 step ups. We'll definitely be getting a step up tomorrow. There's no way we won't be. I'd be shocked. And then there'll probably be a step up with there'll probably be a step up after the next 2 step ups, like the Theo Viola Scarecrow Gilderoy. There'll probably be a step up that has like Theresa or Tressa and Heathcote, right? Like the next 2 units that came out, and then maybe each step up will be the following 2 characters that came out. What new character comes out tomorrow? I don't know. We don't know. A lot of people think it's the dancing chick. I don't think so. I think it's probably going to be Hannah, but I've already guessed that for 2 weeks. So let me guess. Is she looking for a husband? This girl that we're hanging out with. If I had 3 Kates in a row grinding the other day, I about died. That's pretty good luck, unless they all ran. There have been steps up to the original 8. I believe it. Boom, 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 bum, bum, bum. That's rough. I'm mid 75 to 80. I mean, it doesn't get any faster. That's for sure. It definitely slows down more and more and more. But like, it's not as big of a deal because, like you said, content comes out slow. If you just log in, play 10 minutes, get your daily stuff done, get your easy experience, you know, you get a level or 2 a week. Then when new content comes out, you'll be 5 to 10 levels higher than you were. You killed most of them at 500 to 6,000 experience. I mean, that's super good. That's still only like a half level at the later levels, but I have like 27 boost berries, so I'm not too concerned for myself. But that's not like a bunch of characters. It's like I could bring some characters up to level 85 or 90. Probably not even 90 because I don't have enough gems, I think. I haven't had enough gold guide stones. I wish they put more work into the side stories. Some old looking, same old looking for a man doing the same trial, blah, blah, blah. The main story is so damn good. The Traveler stories are good for the higher level characters, right? The quality of story tends to correlate with the amount of stars as well. Like, they're not going to put in a lot of work to actually make 3 stars have a good story at this point. They practically force us to hate 3 stars. For real, not only are they worthless in combat, like genuinely fucking, like the difference between a 4-star and a 3-star is bigger than the difference between a 4-star and a 5-star in most cases. Like the 3 stars are completely shit. Completely shit. Whereas the 4 stars are usually pretty good and very viable, at least in all the content currently in the game. And the 3 stars have shit stories. 3 stars are completionist medals. Absolutely. They're just there for the fucking influence. What is the benefit of the paid step up in JP version? If you know, I have no idea, but I'm excited for a paid step up. Why am I excited to spend that much money? Fuck you. I just am. Yeah. It's not even for the hunts. I actually don't think they're very good on hunts because as you start getting characters to like for example, once you get your 4 stars up, like I have Let's take a look at my hunt really quick as a good example. At these level hunts, you have the ability right now to kind of bring whatever you want once you get a certain level. So 3, 4. So like I have multiple characters that aren't even the influence, right? Like look at, I have 4 wealth, 2 might, and no, I have 5 wealth, 2 might, and a fame. But I'm still over because Wingate has 200 alone, and he has 200 alone because he hit level 74, and level 74 the 4 stars go up to 200, I think, for their influence. And so then you could just bring other shit that you want to get medals for. So as 5 stars get to a high enough level to increase their influence, like where's Viola at? She might even get up to like 300 solo. Yeah, she has another 80 influence here at level 97, which is very high. But once you have and another 80 influence here at 92. So she has another 160 influence coming, which does put her up to 300, doesn't it? Yeah, she goes up to 300 influence. So you could have her and one other unit, and then just things that you want to get shards for. Oh, let's switch the party back up though. Oh, this is the party, never mind. Yeah, using 3 stars for like the first week is very viable for sure. I wish gold guide stones were just a standard reward for hunts, not based on bringing 5-star characters. Yeah, especially because you need 2,000, you get 5 a day, right? If that's your only resource, think about how long it's going to take. You get 5. You need 2,000. You need 2,000 divided by 5 a day is equal to 400 days. If that's how much you're getting. But to be fair, 2,000 is for level 100. If you want level 95, it's about, I think, 1,000. Maybe it's like 1,005. Let's say it's 1,010. I think it's actually less than that. Divide that by 5, right? Every 200 days, you'll get a character maxed out, or up to like level 95, which is like pretty damn high. But that's with just the free ones. That's not including like if you pull a character, you get a free 100. Not a free. You get 100. And you get that on 8 characters. I mean, it doesn't change how long it takes because you're not running multiple of the same character. It's not possible. But you will get, like Pain says. It's not Pain, right? Pinathian, you will get it means in 400 days. It's not 400 days per character necessarily. It's like 400 days per set of 8 characters. And 4 stars are easy. You don't even need to worry about. The only reason you run 4 stars is right now for me is on hunts is literally for the influence threshold. Once you can hit the influence threshold with your 5 stars, then you just do that. It is slow to get them. It's very slow. I'm currently getting more gold guide stones every week from my my. I don't know if it's good or bad. I think it's worth it, but I'm gonna be getting the gold guide stones for the memory exchange. Yes. Rubber duck sauce, exactly. That's what I'm doing. Let's go and Saria's tale complete. Thank you. She finally found that husband, guys. Woo! Thank God. We go to the exchange and we go to other. I'm trying to buy these every week because it is 50 a week. But it's hard to buy all 50, right? You have to like liquidate this shit. Like, is it worth to get rid of all these? I don't know. I'm gonna get rid of all besides 5. Right? Like I don't know if it's worth getting rid of all these or not. I don't know if they're gonna have a use in the future. I'm afraid of the Fleece of Remembrance getting rid of it also. I'm doing this though. Let's go. Look at that. An extra 380. $500. 550 guide stones. I also want to get the silver ones too, but you need 100. You need 200. Then to get them all right. Silver guide stones are pretty good too, mostly because you get the silver guide stones, and you could turn the silver guide stones into shards. So you buy 100 of these a week. So you get 500 shards a week. 500 shards is nothing. But if you can, because you don't want to convert the shards into gold guide stones. That'd be 5 gold guide stones. The more exchanges you do, the worse you're getting, the worse deal you're getting, because they're all unfavorable. Oh, just these 3 left. So let's do Evelyn then. I don't even know if Furs had a fight. I don't remember. Oh, first let's go back. Let's prioritize. Then we'll go. I've been burning my mats for extra money. Could be the wrong play. I don't know. You don't need... If you mean literally leaves, don't do that. Stop right now. Stop right now. You don't need leaves. Trust me, you don't need them. Not yet. So let's go here. I just made $1 million based off materials I got today. Once I get the memory, okay. You're right. I'm sitting back a little far. I should be a little more careful with my reading. I get the influence from the 3 stars. I'm gonna use their shards for gold stones. Yeah, I'm gonna not. I'm gonna awaken them all as much as I can and then save them and then start leveling their levels. Eventually they might get accessories, and also increasing the level cap of all of them I think is kind of worth it. Oh wait, does she need a husband? Don't worry, Primrose is the ultimate matchmaker. If there's one person that I trust to go to all the women in the world and ensure they have good husbands, it's Primrose. Just fucking kidding. Who's the step up for tomorrow? I don't know yet, but it's probably going to be like a Gilderoy Theo, Viola. It's going to be something like that, you know. And for the towers, maybe. You might need max level 3 stars. Especially like if you need a team of 8 merchants, you definitely might be running 3 stars. Because there's like literally not enough 4 stars in the game. Probably. I haven't counted. But I'd believe it. Wonder what my notifications on Discord are. Friends being friends, you know. Hey, Grandpa. You see my kitty? Good boy. He's so sleepy. Someone take a picture. Someone take a picture, quick. I love that kitty. I'm watching you watch me. I'm watching you watch me. That was fun. I like Scarecrow and 4-star Hunters, and Theo is at 4.5. Your account is shit. No, I don't mean that. Hey, you'll get them in time. Don't worry about it. All luck comes around. All luck comes around. Eventually. What is this? Oh, someone mentioned me on Discord? Not on Discord, on Reddit? Thanks for the great content. Would love... fuck you, man. Thank you for the great content. Piece of shit. Alright, let's go here. Really quick. Ba-da-ba-da-da. Okay. You're close to getting 1,200 rubies? Good. I recommend saving them. They always give me with the step-ups. I want to save rubies, but I also love deals. I'm with you. I'm a sucker. 1 or 2 3 stars at least. I believe it. That sounds like it's going to be accurate, depending on when the towers come out, you know. Eventually, you'll be able to do all 5 stars, I assume. I'm tapping this phone screen so fast, you have no idea. Let's go get her to join our party. I'm planning to spend those rubies on the step up. I don't recommend it, but you know what? You gotta live your life. I'm not gonna tell you not to, but I'm gonna say that if I was in your shoes, I wouldn't. That's all I gotta say. I've had enough. I've been streaming long enough now, which not that long today, that I'm a little exhausted in terms of the mental toll. I don't want to answer why. I've talked about it like 10 times today, but I will one more time for you, Doodlebug. I don't think spending rubies on step up banners is worth it, based off what you're getting. You're spending 1,200 rubies on general pool units that you will eventually pull, regardless. You are spending them and thus not going to have them for better units in the future. The general pool is currently the weakest it'll ever be, ever. The longer you wait to do a step up, the bigger the general pool will get, and the more value you'll get out of the same amount of gems. 20 pulls for 350 is good, not in my opinion. It's like, okay. It depends on what it's good for. It's like not terrible. But there's two big indicators. One, it's again, 100 pulls for 300 gems isn't good if it was a pull of only 3-star units, right? Like they could give you, there's always like 20. Is that a good deal? It's shit. If you're pulling on shit, it doesn't matter how good of a deal it is. You're still you pull shit. Even if it doesn't really matter where your account's at, I think step up banners are a trap. If you save those gems, like what if, let's say you spend 1,200 rubies on those 4 multis, 5 multis, you are going to get a 5-star guaranteed for sure. Make sure they're free gems, by the way. I'm sure that they are, but then Hanit comes out next week. It would have been better to probably save them for Hanit. I guess you're not guaranteed in that point, but then you should save till you hit pity. Rubber Duck Sauce says either do the 1 step up or do all 5. I think the 1 step up is okay. It's not. I don't even think it's a great deal. If you're free to play, I still don't really recommend it. I don't recommend using that either. I recommend saving until you could hit pity on a badass unit. Wait till you can get a really good unit. I don't think the step ups are I think the next step up that comes out is still going to be the worst that the pool's going to get. If you wait a month, like if you're really struggling and you cannot complete the content that's currently in the game, like you're stuck on, you can't complete Master of All and you want to continue, like it could be worth pulling for sure. But if you're at a point where a lot of players are, where you're not really having any struggles with the game, you should just be saving until you can get a badass unit. And even if you're a light spender, the step up banners are a way worse deal than the daily 10 gem paid. Like, you should probably be saving the gems for limited run banners. Like, if we're a month or 2 out from limited banners, it's probably worth saving on that. and then spending on the limited banners. Like spending 1,200 gems to attempt to get a Scarecrow 5-star is probably less value than spending 1,200 gems attempting to get a 2B or a 2A or a 9S at all. What about like when Primrose is on step up? Do you think it's still bad use of gems? Probably. It depends though. It's like, again, every step up banner becomes more valuable than the last because the general pool is getting bigger. So every step up banner I think is getting better, but still, then you are still spending on a unit that you could, but because she's only going to be on the step up when she's in the general pool. So that's still one of those ones where it's like, you're only saving 300 gems over the course of 5 pulls, I guess. Maybe for me, it's less worth it because I use paid gems most of the time. And for paid gems, I think step up is a bad deal. I don't know. I've kind of already went over it like a bunch of times, so I just am not sure, you know, or just in like the last hour or two. So I'm less mentally strong right now. I spent my juice. What if you're one copy away from a special accessory at the end? It just doesn't matter. Like that kind of bypasses the point of what I'm saying. You'll eventually, it's not like if you don't pull on the Scarecrow step up banner, you can never get Scarecrow. You're probably going to get Scarecrow while you're pulling for a better unit and be like, shit, I got Scarecrow. It's not like it's a unit that's ever going away. He's always going to be there and you're always going to have more Scarecrows than you want eventually. Like if you need to pull because you're stuck by level caps, like you can't get characters up to level 60 to complete Master of All, or you can't get characters up to like level 65 to complete the chapters of wealth or whatever, then there's like a really good likelihood that it could be worth spending some gems. But I'm like, where'd all the gems, if you just started and you only have 1,200 free-to-play gems, but like where did all the other gems go that you start with, right? Usually people have more than 1,200 free-to-play gems when they start the game. I don't remember how many multis we get when we start the game. If I put the step up, it'll likely prevent me from hitting pity on something good in the near future. Yeah, that's exactly it. If you spend the 1,200, like if you're at 3k rubies, if you spend the gems on these general pool units, you're getting a good deal on a bad product, is the way I kind of look at it. It's like, yeah, you're getting guaranteed good stuff. You're getting guaranteed stuff, but the stuff you're getting is still worse than the stuff that they're releasing. Like the last 2 times I did pities, last 2 times I did step ups, I kind of regretted it both times. Like I would have 2,400 more gems. I would have 2 less 5-stars personally. I guess 3 because of the compensation, but pretend the compensation doesn't exist because that was a one-time thing. I'd have 2 less 5-stars, but I'd have 2,400 more gems, and I'd be able to hit, I'd have like over 4,000 gems right now for like really, really good units that come out. Now, I do think there is a reasonable argument for for a free-to-play player, the 150 gems for a multi, getting a 50% discount on a multi every 2 weeks. I think that's pretty reasonable. I think for a free-to-play players, you could probably do that. Because you probably need so many of the general pool stuff anyway that it's still going to be a good value. But once you become a light spender, at least, I think you shouldn't spend gems on that. You should do the 10 gem daily pull, which is $1 a day. And that doesn't mean you have to spend $30 a month. You could spend $10 a month over 3 months, $15 a month over 2 months, or $1 a month over 30 months. Either way, if you're spending any money, I think that's what should be your top priority of spend paid gems on this first. 10 gems a day. Because it's a 66% discount, which is better than even the best 50% discount that a step up gets you. It's 300 gems for a guaranteed 5-star. And 3 multis. Like, that is clearly a magnitude of value above everything else. I mostly disagree with you on this, Perp, but everyone has their own opinion, so that's what it's worth it for you. I mean, at the end of the day, I just think the step-up banner isn't the value. It's good value for a low-quality product. Exactly. For just $1 a day, you could save this poor 3-star. $1 a day is a lot. That's what I'm saying. You don't need to spend $30 a month. You could, if you're spending any money at all, if you're not a free-to-play player, I think the 10 paid gem pull is easily the best value in the game. Hugely. If you're using only free-to-play gems and you only have access to banners like that, I still think it's worth typically saving up to 6k rubies to get guaranteed pity on a unit. And that means you may not use all 6k rubies, but it means that you're guaranteed to get the unit at the very least. And then I do think it could be worth also doing, every time a step up comes out, getting 150% multi, doing the 150. I'm not sure on that, but I think it could be worth it, because that might be the best quote unquote deal gem wise that free to play players ever get. And it's only 150 gems, which isn't like an insane amount of time, but it also it gets better every time. Right, every time a new step up comes out, the general pool is either the same or better than it was before. And so the first 150 for the 10 pull is going to increase in value as a free to play. Yeah, I think that's a good way of looking at it. Imagine being 1k short of getting the guaranteed Cyrus, and then when you pulled on a step up the week before. The price of 5 units for 10. I'm not sure I understand, but yeah, for the very first one you get a multi, but at the cost of 5 units. Right answer is 0, 1, or 5. All the middle steps aren't good. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I don't know when we're getting Cyrus, but I don't think it's right now. Did we finish that story? Looks like it. We'll save Yugo for last because he's shirtless and that's hot. I don't even know if he is shirtless. Pity is what? 6k gems? Yeah, pity is very high. But it's typically going to be better to aim for pity than to always do half measures and just pray for luck. You don't want to hope for luck in a gacha. You want to hedge your bets and hope to get good luck while also getting a guaranteed payout. Because let's say you don't have enough when Cyrus comes out, he does go to the general pool, so you still can hope to pull him after that. It's possible. I don't know. I have no idea about the release schedule. It seems like everything that, from what I understand, it seems like the JP style of what we were expecting could just be like thrown out the window because it's like it seems to be completely irrelevant. The JP guide. I've been there. Don't let that guy fool you. I doesn't walk onto his square. I still think we're getting a new hunter soon, even if they drop the Hasume girl next. I still don't think they're getting Hasume next. I don't think so. Who are you saving for, Giselle? I'm sorry, I missed your message. I'm not really saving for anything. Again, this is a do as I say, not as I do thing. As a content creator that's has spent hundreds of dollars on this game and will continue to spend money on this game, I'm gonna pull for most things. Not most things. I'm gonna pull for all of the original 8. I don't know, maybe not Hanet. Right, I'm waiting for Cyrus. I'm waiting for Alphen. I'm waiting for Ophelia. Characters that I really want to get. I'm waiting for the special banners in a sense. The limited time. 2 5-stars in the first step, 2 5-stars in the last step, and a compensation one. Yeah, in a sense, you could go in hindsight and say it was worth it because I got 4 5-stars and a total of 5 5-stars. Like, yeah, but that's not gonna be, if going into it, you can't know what you're gonna get. And that one was exceptionally, probably, potentially worth it because you get 2 guaranteed 5-stars in it if you were part of the compensation. Ulbrich is the best story. I'm very excited. I'll pull on Ulbrich for sure. I don't think we're getting him soon, though. I mean, it's hard to say, but I still think we're getting one of the original 8 next for a hunter, a cleric, or an apothecary. I'm hoping it's Alphen. That way I get his pull on him and have him on my team forever. Yeah, but I'm hoping Ulbrich isn't just a tank. He's a warrior tank, I know, but I'm hoping he's tanks do seem to be less viable in this game. I do agree with that, but he's too cool. DPS tank. I'm excited for him. It is nice that like either a tank is going to be strong because they could survive, but it will be nice to have a tank that's like, hey, he could survive, but if, in cases where he doesn't need to tank up, he's not just a dead unit. You love characters for their stories. I mean, Primrose had a great story. The compensation banner, I think, if there was a step up in the game so far that's worth it, that one was probably worth it because of the mistake. But I don't know. I'm pretty harsh. I still maybe mathematically I'm wrong. I don't know. But Tis, I still think that typically saving gems is probably better. But as a free to play, that was such like a good kickstart. It's hard, yeah, it's hard to argue against like at the state of the game. And that game that does have a pity, even if the pity is not insane. Alphen is super OP. Good. I hope we just get Alphen tomorrow. I don't even care. I'll pull for him if we do. Do we do it? This character should be removed from the game because her story sucks right now. I don't know what's happening, but I'm running back and forth and it's not fun. Why am I killing these things? I don't know. I think there's still quests to like, oh, kill 19 wasp enemies, kill 200 wasp enemies. Like, all right. I'm inconsistent when I run from fights and then when I do fights. I don't know. We're clearly mostly talking while this is just on, you know? What's your favorite character story so far? I fell asleep doing this story. No idea what happens. I think that's what Kage did too. Kage completed all the stories on the first night. And I think he was like literally sleeping with his phone just hitting the screen. I have 20 pity on the standard one due to the initial pulls on D1. And I think I'll never complete that. That's like, you have 20 pity. It means you need 180 pity more. It's tough. Yeah, I currently have 0 on it. Hunt passes, you could store up to 7. When I was pulling for Primrose, Evelyn was the last unit the game gave me. That's funny. This is it, right? Hey, thank you for the follow. I can tell I'm getting tired. My coffee was fucking curdled milk in it, so in my normal, I got a Starbucks triple shot, but it was just chunky, and even though it wasn't expired on the can, and it had a hiss, it wasn't already opened, so I don't know what happened. And so now I'm tired! This is your fault! I have noticed that in JP, people usually ignore the tank unit. So far, the tanks have all been terrible. Not terrible, but like Gilderoy's not very good. Gilderoy's good at breaking lightning. The best in the game for breaking lightning, probably. Maybe the new scholar chick is, but no one has her. Very few people have her because they're like, oh, this is an easy skip banner. This guy that came out, he's cool, but he's still like an easy skip banner because everyone has Fiora. Right? And Fiora's actually like pretty badass. Fiora's like super badass. Who is this, Mina? I like Therese. Everyone likes Therese. Most people don't have her. She's a great unit. I think she was like the best unit in the game that no one is actively pulling for right now. But I do think she's good. This is alphabetical. LMNOP. Oh, was it Mina? Or I was thinking of Therese. Menno and Mina are the same person. Did you know that? Her level cap is 71 right now? Holy bzz. I must have pulled a lot of her. Well, thank God we're getting some more of her guide stones. Tanks have to have utility, either breaking, heals, buffs, and such. Yeah. I don't think my Gilderoy has his first awakening. He was the character I started with. I kind of wish I would have started with Scarecrow now. But luckily I got a 5-star Viola. I have a 5-star... I mean, I think I have literally all the 5 stars now, right? I think everyone is 5-star besides Scarecrow. Fiora, Gilderoy, Lynette, Theo, Viola, Sophia. Scarecrow's 4.5. Who's the other one? Thief, Scholar, Dancer, Apothecary, Warrior, Merchant. I don't know. I can't think of who it is. Millard. Who could forget Millard? I have him at 5 stars as well. So it's only Scarecrow left at 4.5. For me. On my account. This guy looks familiar. Oh, you know why? Because he looks like the bald egg dude from Triangle Strategy. Minister Sorsley. That requires inspecting every curve of your body. You want to be a dancer, don't you? Then stand still and let me assess. Please stop. I want a husband. I'm Udo, the entertainer. Sir, that's an invasion of my privacy. I'm looking for a husband. It's funny. Scarecrow is your first traveler. I kind of wish I would have started with him now. Gilderoy hasn't exactly paid out, but he's been fun. I really like him. But Primrose is now my protagonist, I've decided. Now be a good girl and come here. We will see if you have what it takes. No, get away from me. I want to be a dancer. I want to dance on stage in skimpy clothes. But you don't need to, yeah, you know, she's right though. You don't need to be inappropriately touched for that to happen. A few moments of pain for years of glimmering fame. Not a brand transaction, I would say. You're deceiving these poor girls and trampling on their dreams. You're a monster. Scary. The defiant ones are always the most satisfying to break. You're the one that's going to break. Don't attack him. In modern society, see, he gets a whip. In modern society, we would be the ones going to jail here. Probably. Prim has nothing to say about the situation. Yeah, it is weird to have Primrose. Like, there's a bunch of women that are specifically just looking for husbands that Primrose is happy to be a matchmaker for, and a bunch of dancers getting sexually touched, and she's like... It's the downside of a gacha and of why Traveler stories aren't that good, is that there's no context with the character that you have in your party. They're just the chosen one. You want to be a star, don't you? Then drop it. Leave her alone, man. Mina's a nice girl. It's true she beat up this old man. He deserves it, but no one knows it. How come I've never heard of you before this story? Thank you so much for helping me. Primrose has nothing to say, but we got that mental connection. My dreams slipped through my fingers again, just like all these tasty nuts. How many units are there in the game? Good question. Is there 70 yet? There's 88 characters. That's as much as they're adding. They're never adding an 89th. That's not true. I think there's like 70 in the game. Ancient Beast Tide. That's what they used to call me in high school. Remember that Family Guy skit of Walt Disney painting Minnie Mouse? That was hilarious. Man, Family Guy had a... I think Family Guy has probably had like 80%... Like, at a point, I thought Family Guy was really funny. But now I think it's like 80% not funny, 20% funny, maybe even less. But maybe that's just me. I don't know. Like, are they still making Family Guy? Are they still coming out with new stuff? Does anyone know? They're still coming out with South Park, I'm pretty sure. South Park, I think, is like 25, 30 years old now. I think it's 25 years. I think that show has like free reign to exist as long as it wants to exist. They're still making Family Guy, huh? I mean, I'm assuming it's not good, but I guess I don't know. I've been waiting, girl. You're so persistent. Of course I am. Girls like you don't come around often. There's no way Udo the entertainer would even look at her if Primrose is there. Now, I don't want to say that Menno isn't beautiful. I don't know. But Primrose is literally renowned as being the hottest chick. Literally kings come in their pants when they see her because she's like, oh, my desert rose, I have seen a goddess. Oh, that is who she is. He is Don Corneo. He's like Haglish 2.0. Menno is a bit meatier. She's more kawaii. That's based on the art. All right, we're gonna look at her art. Holy shit. Is that my mom? What are you? If you don't do what I say, I'll end this girl's entire career. One snap in her ankle and it's over for her. Unhand her, you beast. She has nothing to do with this. Oh, she does. Let me pour some cold water on that naivete of yours. You said you wanted to make people smile with your dancing, didn't you? Well, how about her? Wouldn't you like to see put a smile on her precious face? This guy is totally breaking the law right now. Coward, let her go. Now you will see just how foolish the dream is, don't you? There is no way for you to make everyone happy. The world is a cruel place. The joy of one begets the sadness of another. Now it is time for you to choose. Who will shed tears today? You or this girl? Goodness gracious, what's the matter of wickedness is this? Who the hell are you? Oh God, am I the only one that thinks that this game has got a huge flavor loss for not having martial artists and instead having dancers? And then when I say instead of having dancers, have dancers, but why did they not make why did they make the dancers use fan weapons and not fists? How great would it have been if all the dancers were martial artists? And because martial arts is akin to dancing in, you know, some cultures or whatever. And when they're on stage, on all their pictures, they're not holding fans. They're holding their fists. How cool to be a Primrose is kick people in the fucking nutsack, man. God, or in their faces. I don't care. Or in their vaginas. I don't care what kind of genitalia. The point is she kicks them. Gus, Tidos, and Hermina. Hee hee. Boy. Can do both. I just don't get it. Like, look at, they hold out their fists. They're martial artists. I don't know why the dancers had to have fan weapons and they couldn't have been fists. Yeah, fan using Tifa Lockhart. Exactly. Imagine like the weapon restriction based on class is kind of a downside for flavor. Like, are they ever gonna, like, if they added Tifa to the game, which they won't, what, she would have to be a dancer, use fans, or she'd have to be a warrior and use swords, neither of which makes any sense. I'm not saying fans are a flavor negative for dancers. I mean, I understand what they were going for, but imagine how much cooler it would have been if they had fist weapons. Imagine how much cooler it would have been. We could have had, then we could have had martial artists add to the game as dancers. Or they could, I mean, they're not going to add another job, right? They're not going to add a 9th job unless it becomes 9th Opath Traveler. You love how they made the creeper's belly bounce? Good. It's me, old man. You see these cool characters that are martial artists that kick, like in Fiora's story where he kicks the shit out of everyone. You're like, oh, this character will never be a banner. I simply repaying my debt for your help when I needed it the most. You're stronger than you look, sir. Yes. And now if you want to be a dancer, you'll have to do as I say. My nose is so itchy, man. Fuck. Why'd you guys do this? Listen, we're not interested in a creepy old man. Cool. Now I know I have to build mixed armors for Paradis. Do you? I mean, I always use the 50-50 armor. They should add more classes. The original game had more than 8. What are you talking about? What was the 9th class? Merchant Sid, yeah. Warrior Cloud, Hunter Barrett, Dancer Tifa, Thief Yuffie, Apothecary Vincent. Advanced classes? What are you talking about? Listen, I never beat Octopath, so I don't know about any advanced classes. There was 4 more. Was any of them martial artists? Vincent with an axe could be cool. I mean, he should have a gun. But maybe he's just permanently transformed. Never beat Boo. I didn't have that much fun with it after a while. The structure of the story was such a negative experience for me. Yeah, I can't believe so. But what about how good would it be? Fake fan. I mean, I never claimed I was a fan of Octopath. I didn't even play Octopath until I heard this game was coming out in 2 weeks. Then I was like, I'll play the original to see if I like it. I like the combat system, but I thought the structure of the story was pretty terrible. Like, actually, like, I was very negative on the way they structured the story. It didn't make sense that my characters were together. In fact, it made negative sense. Like, they wouldn't have been together. It wouldn't have, the way you experience the story was very not enjoyable. Press plus to hear travel banter. But the gameplay and the characters were very good, and the music is great in Octopath. The Bravely Default party dynamics is way better, absolutely. So let's see, merchant. So there's cleric, merchant, warrior, hunter, dancer, thief, apothecary. Who are we not in? What job aren't we including? Can this end so I can look? They all do bring stories together. Yeah, I'm told like the final chapter like will slightly bring it together, but at least people will like I'm very happy. Yeah, Scholar is Kate Sith. There we go. Thank you. I was like, we need Kate Sith. Kate Sith is one of my favorite characters in Final Fantasy VII because he's such a bad character in Final Fantasy VII. I like him not because I'm supposed to like him. I think I like him because he's fucking stupid. But yeah, like at least like even though when I talk a little bit of shit about Octopath the original, like everyone agrees with my point, I feel like, which isn't my point, but they agree with the point that it's like the story structure is not good. But the game is very good despite the story structure. She might be thick. It's kind of hard to tell because her leg's being kicked. So it's hard to tell if she's really thick or if she's just her dress is just blowing in the wind. You go? No, you go. Yeah, maybe I play Bravely See, I keep thinking of like, what's a second game I could play on stream to play with people? And I started playing Tales of Symphonia, but, you know, unfortunately, the viewers go from, you know, 30 to 50 to like 30 within the 30 to 50 range to like the 2 to 10 range. You know, it just like, even if I'm doing normal stuff and just talking on Octopath COTC, it just does better than playing a different game. So I'm probably not going to play a secondary game. I'm probably going to just stop playing Tales of Symphonia and stream more of this. It's not like I'm out of things to do. Bravely Default, the first one, I know it has like you play the same game like 6 times because you're in time loops or whatever. I didn't beat that one either. You have to play the Octopath as 8 mini stories. I would, but it's very difficult to, like, the level cap thing is like important. Like it's less fun. Like at least in this game, they kind of have a similar structure, but I got to go from Well Chapter 1 to Well Chapter 2 to Well Chapter 3. And even though Well Chapter 3 was like a tougher fight because of my levels, like it was reasonable to do it. It felt like, it just felt different in Octopath. Like they felt so separated that I kind of forgot what was going on. I didn't like the pacing of it. This is a really cool enemy design though. This game's got great enemy designs, great music, great enemy designs, a great combat system, great characters. Like the things that it's not great with is like, I think the environments are like okay. I'm not hugely big on the style of like the 3D HD. I mean, it's like good. I like the 3-dimensional movement, but it's not like insane, right? But like when I look at a game and I'm like, hey, great looking pixel art, great looking enemy design, great looking, or you know, great amazing music, phenomenal combat. Like there's so much good about this game that I have to nitpick things that I don't love to find things that I don't love. Like, and it's not nitpicking to talk about the gacha. The gacha is garbage because it is gacha, right? I think most people that play gacha games still acknowledge that gacha is not like the optimal way to play. Like being able to play a game for free is nice, but like it's still a predatory model. You could just do a solo run as your favorite traveler. I started as Tressa, but I would have definitely started again as Alphen or Ulbrich if I could. You can redo like every boss in Bravely Default like 5 times. That's kind of fun. Yeah, Bravely Default, like I know it has this like really cool twist and story loop thing where it feels really repetitive and you're doing the same thing again, but it has a story reason. I don't think that's necessarily a good point though. I do get a little frustrated when a game does something bad and then people will defend it saying it's not bad. There's a reason for it. It makes sense in the story. I'm like, yeah, but you can they made the story and they made it bad. They can make it not bad and make sense in the story. They could have it like narratively not make me play through it 5 times. Although I wonder if I would like it. Still, regardless, I never beat Bravely Default. I got pretty far, but I didn't beat Bravely Default. I didn't beat Bravely Default 2. Bravely Default 2, it just it fell off for me, not because it was unfun necessarily, but I fall into this personal trap of feeling like I need to grind all the time. Like, all right, I can't progress until I max out this new job on every character. And so I'm there maxing out every job on every character. And then I get to the fights and they're like kind of hard, but not too hard because I've over grinded. And so I always just like, just the way the gameplay loop works of always acquiring new jobs through story segments. I don't know. And most of the jobs weren't that exciting, in my opinion. I still just like the Final Fantasy Tactics job system more, but it has the same problem where I love Final Fantasy Tactics, but I'll sit and, I start a new game and I spend my first 15 hours of gameplay having 4 characters stand in a corner, smack each other in the face with rocks until I'm ready to like move on. Like, all right, I've got the Ninja and Dark Knight classes. Let's keep playing. I almost wish like I didn't have to grind jobs at all. I almost wish like when you got a job, it was just maxed out. Cause like my favorite part is like the time consuming thing of leveling up jobs wasn't terribly bad, but I didn't really like it. But I did like when I had jobs max, making my own custom classes for situations and fights. And that was really fun. Figuring out what worked together like was puzzle solving, but grinding all the JP was not very fun for me. It didn't help that I didn't love I had to listen to Elvis talk all the time, and I did not think Elvis had a good voice. Can't wait to get him in this game for free. Bravely 1 and Bravely Default and Bravely Second are much better than Bravely Default 2. I actually think I remember that, which is weird. I think I remember liking Bravely Default 1 more than Bravely Default 2, but I can't put my finger on why. I put it down to it just being my age. Like, I was younger when Bravely Default 1 came out, and I had more patience for games that were very grindy. But that may not be it. It's more tactical. I do remember the boss fights in number 2 being pretty hard, but I kept running into the issue where I would accidentally over level still. Bravely Default 1 is more complex and hard. That sounds satisfying. I remember playing a fuck ton of the Bravely Default 1 demo. I will say it's very nice. Like, it's literally not genre defining, but it's like franchise defining for the game that they release really cool demos that are side stories with content that can carry over. Like, that's just fucking good. Although I don't know if Bravely Default 2 did content or you just got items or whatever, but it's fucking cool to experience side stories of what you can expect in the game. Bravely Default 2 is a lot easier to break. Yeah, maybe I'm trying to think if that's what I felt too. I don't remember if I liked the job combining system as much, but maybe it was exactly the same. I don't know. Bravely was refreshing because the old 2D square RPG was dead back then. It was really nice to have a great job system in a video game. A lot of job systems were just like not great. I mean, Final Fantasy Tactics still kind of blows everything out of the water, right? With the super free customization. The issue is it does have the same exact issue of grinding JP is so fucking annoying. There's a secret boss with 1 million HP that takes 1 hour to shut down. Holy shit. That's like not as long as I think the most HP and longest fight is what, Final Fantasy 12, right? The guy has like 20 million HP or 12 million HP, some ridiculous number that it doesn't even matter. And it takes like, some people could get the fight done in like 6 to 12 hours. In second, you just have to use Godspeed Strike and you one turn the final boss. I don't remember what Godspeed Strike is, but that sounds familiar. It sounds like something I used a lot. Agree on that as well about Bravely Default 2. One thing is that English subs had a dialect for English voices that was weird. I really miss Adia from Bravely Default 1. Yeah, like, I didn't like, oh my god, he just attacked that monster in the back. Oh, and then he lost. The fun fact is that he has a companion, and if you don't kill both at the same time, they revive. Ooh, that's really cool. Hopefully they don't revive at full HP. I think that was kind of, maybe that was one of my issues with Bravely Default 2, is like, I felt like I instead of having 4 people with very different abilities, how much phone battery do I have? 28%. Without having like, without having 4 very distinct party members, like I kind of felt like everyone was starting to become similar because I saw some abilities that felt so much stronger than other abilities. And I was like, all right, so I kind of started like, all right, this seems good. You know, what's better than having 1 Godspeed Strike is like maybe, you know, like having 4 Godspeed Strike. Which maybe not literally that, but you know, that is an example. Or I just had all characters kind of becoming similar, using the most overpowered stuff they could, instead of having diversity. I think Final Fantasy Tactics requiring certain thresholds to hit certain other classes. Of course, everyone could max out everything, but at any reasonable amount of time, it would be like, all right. So like, in order to become this class, I need certain levels of archers, certain level of this, certain level of that, and it's not realistic for most time unless without unbelievable amounts of grinding to get all characters to that level. So you were kind of forcing diversity just to learn what different things are. And in second, they gave you Spellcraft as the first class you unlock. That was awesome. Is Spellcraft, and you mean Bravely second or Bravely Default 2? If you miss the double kill, you'll enjoy another hour of boss fight. I mean, that sounds just like purely fun. It sounds like they knew exactly how to make a good boss fight that people would enjoy, but then shit on it and make it purposely the worst possible. That's what it sounds like. And Bravely second. That's pretty cool. I wish they just had a cook class. Why, how come there's 8 jobs in this world, none of them are chefs? Why can't chefs use knives? You're telling me thief is a more common job than chef? Yeah, have you seen how many restaurants are around? Bravely Default needs to add chef as a class. I believe Bravely Default has it, but we need an Octopath. Music's, yeah, I mean, I would say overall the music in all these style of games have been great. The Trial Reptilian. Defeat 100 Trial Reptilian type enemies. Bravely Default's final boss music is an absolute banger. Yeah, I think Bravely Default Octopath, they have like really good music. We need some skins for COTC. Chef or right, exactly. Every single thief. Chef Viola. Chef Viola. Would you buy a Chef Viola skin where she has a funny hat? She's even fire themed. So like they could change the name of her abilities. Instead of Crimson Blast or whatever, it could be Pan Fry. Don't change anything it does, just change the name. And Double Cut, it would be called Minced Onions. I'll spend $20 on that. Give me Chef Viola. You have to give us some special animations too. Is that it? Look at that. The plat is now in the end game. Let's go to my favorite town. Emberglow. Why is Emberglow my favorite town? Because you can walk directly to the right to get to the merchant. It's right there. It's very close. All right, let's go ahead and do this first. Let's check out the feats before the influence, then the influence after the feats. Yeah, a scarecrow, where he's a literal scarecrow. There's a chef ally, I know, but I want a chef skin for Viola. Or Riot. Completed my dailies. Let's go. Give me more rubles. All right, let's exit. Give me my influence. Move speed up, baby. All right, race me. Who wants to race me? Anyone that's below level 28 power or below level 27 power, race me. Look at this. You got no chance. You see this? Get the fuck out of here. Hi, Plat. Excited tomorrow for the update. I'm gonna pull on Hasumi. I don't think it's gonna be Hasumi, but I'm not gonna pull on her. No. Am I excited for I'm excited for literally every update that happens, especially as a content creator. Every update means that I get a bigger boost in popularity and views. And I'm also excited because I'm a gamer where I play this game every day. And it gives me more shit to do in the game. So I'm excited for a plethora of reasons. You'll lose? Oh, baby. Then I would love to challenge you to a race. Zoom! You see this? Try to stop Primrose. Let's go. Look at this. She can't be stopped. The update with Victor was great. With Victor's Hollow was great. Can I get another story chapter, please? We are getting one in a couple weeks, but the Tilken Arena is coming first. That's what I call content. Don't worry, guys. Is this the longest run you could do in the game? Where do you think the longest run you could do in the game is without interacting with the thing, and they'll keep running? This is my guess right here. This is my guess right here, all right? Everyone, let's guess. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, 4 Mississippi, 5 Mississippi, 6 Mississippi, 7 Mississippi, 8 Mississippi, 9 Mississippi, 10 Mississippi, 11 Mississippi, 12 Mississippi, 13 Mississippi, 14 Mississippi, 15 Mississippi, 16 Mississippi, 16 and a half Mississippi. A 16-second run with a level 27 speed boost. Let's go. This is content. This is content. Tomorrow, I think we're gonna, it depending on what the update is, I'm gonna save some content to potentially do for tomorrow. More grinding and stuff, but hopefully there's something new to do tomorrow. If not, what we're gonna do is we're gonna theorize the, we're gonna do a speed run route, okay? We're gonna do a speed run route where we are gonna go as fast as possible to complete the daily quest. We're gonna route it and then we're gonna do it. We want to complete just the daily quests as fast as possible. So think about what we're gonna do for that, how the literal fastest way to do that, and I'll make that into a YouTube video of speedrun daily quests. It's like 5 minutes. I want to see if we can get it lower than that. I want to see if we can get it lower than that. I want to get an optimal route, but we're not worrying about that today. We're gonna worry about that tomorrow if there's not an update with much content. Either way, guys, I do have to end the stream today. I don't have to. I'm going to end the stream today. I had a really good time. How long did I stream? It's kind of later in the day than I'm used to streaming. Only 15 minutes. Okay, that's not bad. No, let's take a look. How long have I been live? 3 hours and 11 minutes. That's a little bit. That's a longer stream than I'm used to. But also, I'm gonna go do some chores. I have today off, so feel free to hit me up on Discord. I'm probably gonna be lazing around the house doing some chores. I am gonna go see a movie in a couple hours with my girlfriend though. But either way, much love. Per platypus is per platypus. I will see you tomorrow for content and some fun. Peace out, friends. You have a good night.